Erica, go on YouTube and see if you. All right, all right, all right. All right, all right, all right. Found you, bitch. All right, all right, all right. Found you, bitch. All right, all right, all right. Found you, bitch. All right, all right, all right. Found you, bitch. All right, all right, all right. Found you, bitch. All right, all right, all right. Found you, bitch. Yeah, y'all know what the fuck going on, nigga. A whole lot of us, nigga. Long live the biggest, nigga. Why everybody thought that shit was dead, nigga. Thought I supposed been down and left out, though. Now I'm up now. Whole lot of big dog gang shit, nigga. The ran it up so you can't catch me, nigga. Run it up so you can't catch me, nigga. Free soccer. Put that shit in there, yeah. Early. Big dog shit. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to all my double R league coaches and, viewers out there. Merry Xmas. Let's get to it. As y'all can see, we are in week 10 of the 2026 season. That means a lot of the polls are up. College football playoff rankings is up. We got awards, all types of stuff to talk about. But this week is the battle of the P4s, right? We talking about big dog games. It's some big time matchups this week. And we want to see, the outcomes of it. And a lot of them got a lot of playoff implicant stuff on it, a lot of conference alignment stuff, like, right, who's going to go to a championship game, who's going to become supreme in their conference, right? The P4s, the SEC, Big 12, ACC, and the Big 10. Who's going to dominate those things? We will talk about all those things coming up on the show. Pay attention and hits the Guru DNA Ball Talk, episode 2. Let's get at it. Pay attention and hits the. Just wanted to make sure we were straight. I put my little scope buffs in the bitch. Let's go.
School buffs.
All right, before we get into matchups and all the good stuff, we have to talk about the college football top 25 rankings because this is the most important ranking system going forward, right? We in week 10 right now. There's only four regular season games left, and then we get into the Army Navy game, and then after that, it's conference championship games. And all those games from here on out are super important, especially when you have a CPU game. You have to play it. You either play it or you take the loss. And what you're seeing is you got some guys that have been playing and getting these first wins because we don't really bother them about the computer games until they have to play them, and guys are taking losses now. So let's take a look at what's going on in the college football playoff rankings right now. I always explain this now that we've been playing this since the summertime. I explain this all the time. The college football rankings are the first 11 are the most important. Okay, and I will also say the top six are the most important, right? Because the top six in that top 10, out of the top 10, the top six can lose a game late, and especially like a conference championship game, and still have an opportunity to stay within those and stay in reach to be able to make it to the playoffs. All right, so as we speak right now, you have the number one team in the country is the USC Trojans out there, and Game Breed is putting off some good time work out there. I would consider him as Lincoln Riley, and he's the head coach, and him being the offensive coordinator over there, the way they do things on offense and USC is has been outstanding since season one. I will say this though, the guys in the conference with him are screaming. The USC schedule is super favorable to them. They don't play any of the top dog users mainly every year. So let's take a look and see if that's true again this year. All right. Well, they opened up with the University of Miami in week one. They won that game. That's a big game. They played an out of conference game. That's a top 10 matchup, 31-26. Off that bye week, they go to Michigan State. They play at home at Michigan State. They also went to Nebraska. They came back home against Minnesota, at Illinois, Indiana. Now you can see why people are saying what they're saying. Versus Purdue, versus Washington. All these games are computer games, and then they're going to play Rutgers at 2:15 at USC. So Rutgers, New Jersey, got to travel to California, and then to close out the season, they do have two big games close it out. Right, they do have their rival game in UCLA, but that's another computer game, and that team is 2-7, and then they got to go play Notre Dame at Notre Dame. I mean at USC at 8:30 p.m. on November the 28th. 6-2 Notre Dame, the number 12 team in the country, will take on the Trojans. So I say there's a little truth to that ring, right? Not too many user games that really put them in a situation. So, but at the end of the day, you only can play what's on your schedule, right? And because of that, they're sitting at they're the number one ranked team in the nation. It's funny because you have the defending champions from the SEC, who absolutely, to me, should be the number one team in the nation because they haven't lost a game. But the same thing happened in year one with Colorado. 2024, Colorado won a title, and 2025 they went undefeated, and they were not ranked number one in the country at all. Um, so, that's a little telling, but let's get back to it and show some love to USC for doing what they're doing right now. They do play Rutgers this week, but right now they are the number one team in college football. Oklahoma, the defending national champions, they are back to defend their championship. And Oklahoma, they said they host the best running back room in the country, and they're trying to show and prove that. They took on Maryland and beat the brakes off them 70-24, and then they at Vanderbilt this week, week 10. Oklahoma is defending their national title. Look, they went and got the transfer from Kansas State and Avery Johnson. They brought him in to play quarterback for them while their quarterback last year is looking to be drafted. Look like he's going to be a first rounder. We'll see how that plays itself out. But Oklahoma's sitting at number 2 right now. They had the best recruiting class last year. They're looking to jump back up to have that again. We know they're going to be top 5, at least top 3. They're dominating. They brought in 8 5-stars already. But Oklahoma is playing good football, right? They got a really fast receiver room, but their running back room is really what's carrying this football team right now. They're one of the better built teams when it comes down to the trenches, offensively and defensively, and it's going to look good for their future as well. Then there's Miami. Look, man, came on brought these Miami Hurricanes back to Miami Hurricane football, right? The state of Florida is very excited about their Hurricanes, right? And Hurricane fans that have been Hurricane fans from the 80s and the 90s, the early 2000s, they're back in the mix right now. They have something they could be proud of. It's a product that's being on the field that they're completely proud of right now, sitting at number 3. Their only hiccup was early on against USC, but as you can see, strength of schedule matters, right? That's why I took that out on purpose so I can charge my goddamn remote control. But back to what I was saying, strength of schedule matters, and I think taking a loss early on like that in week 1, and then pretty much pitting belt the ass. How did I know she would be calling? Yep. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too. Right. What you doing?
I'm on my podcast show.
I can't hear you.
I'm on my podcast show.
On your what?
I'm on the show. I'm doing a show.
When you gonna get out of that?
In a little bit. Why? What's up?
Alright, so snatch me up.
Huh? We going to dinner. We going to dinner at Erica's mom's house, and then I'll come pick you up.
You know where I'm at?
Yeah, Shayna house.
Do you know where I'm at?
Yeah, Shayna house.
Yeah.
All right. All right, love you. Damn, that was fast. Back to the U, man. Sorry for that little quick commercial break. Gotta speak to Mom Dukes while we took her to my sister's over for Christmas so she can enjoy Christmas with her grandbabies. See her sister, see my sister, see her daughter. Now, with that being said, Miami 7-1 right now, right? They're the number 3 team in the nation in the college football playoffs right now. They do have a big time matchup coming up that we'll talk about a little later. They're traveling to Pittsburgh to take on the number 4 ranked Pittsburgh Panthers, and the Pittsburgh Panthers hired a new coach. And in that hire this year, this coach has been dominating, right? They putting in work right now. As you can see, they're the number 4 team in the nation right now, and they are balling right now. I think their biggest win was against Oregon early in the year. But they're playing good football right now, and we're going to find out how real they really are when this matchup happened. But University of Miami got an opportunity to go into Pittsburgh, win that ball game, and really jump themselves up. Jump themselves into it. Now, I don't know if they can jump number 2 or 3 because they're both undefeated, but that's a big time win, right? Anytime you play a top 10 team, 3 versus 4, that's going to be a very big matchup. And right behind them is the number 4 team, Pittsburgh. Look, they got a spread off offense right now, right? But they run the option really well. They got a dual threat quarterback that does a really good job in the read option game, and this team really puts a lot of pressure on you because they make you play disciplined football, right? Speed option triple, like they almost got like that Army Navy feel without being in that type of offense. It's more of a spread out. I would go back to Chip Kelly when he was at Oregon. They got that type of offense going on where they got speed at the receiver position, the running back position, and the quarterback position, and they get these guys the ball in space. And they play in between the line football, but spread you out, no diddy. They'll spread you out and put you into conflict and make you have to play assignment football. And I think that's what makes them special this year. That's why they're undefeated this year. That's why they put and belt the ass to most people they're playing right now. And they're going to have to show us who they really are when Miami come to town. So that's going to be a big ass matchup. And then there's the Ohio State and Coach Hitter. Defensively, they're putting together a masterpiece. Offensively, they're sticking to who they are offensively. They attack the running back room. They are recruiting as if they're an SEC team. They're recruiting like the Blue Bloods they are. Ohio State right now, they have the number 1 class in the country right now. With that being said, they brought in some really good receivers that we like. Let's take a look for a second and dig into that Ohio State's roster right now and look at some of the things they brought in. All right. When it first started, when we talk about them, the spider web, right? They call him Spidey. Spider web. Aaron Nolan is still in the building. They also brought in the 2025 class, one of the top 5-star quarterbacks in the country, and Taven St. Clair. He's coming off his redshirt year. So they're kind of deep at the running back position. 5-star Julian Sand is still on this roster. And they brought in Oscar Rios, another 5-star or 4-star, high 4-star In my opinion, he should be a 5-star, but Oscar Rios is the dog. Now, some would say Ohio State's uh, quarterback room. Somebody's going to move. Somebody got to go. Right. That's the thought process behind it. Right. Somebody's going to be out of there. There's no way they're going to be able to keep that type of room. No way. All right. No way. Well, I'm here to tell you, I don't know. I don't think so, right? Because as you look up, you can tell who's unhappy and who's not. And as of right now, there's nobody really sitting in a situation where, you know, playing time is going to matter to them right now. Now, if they decided to make cuts, transfer portal means everything. But just look what I just said. Spiderweb's a starter because he gives them the most football. He's an elite 5-star, an elite 5-star in his redshirt sophomore year. So he's from the 2025 class. God damn. Yo,
Yo, bro.
what's up with you? I'm on the show, my nigga. What's good though?
Oh, my bad. You got another way besides his phone to get in touch with Bill?
With Mill?
Yeah, he left his phone with my boy Saeed.
Oh, that's probably why he was
He left in the car.
that's probably why he was on the game on the show. Yeah, I could probably get with him on the game.
Yeah, just tell him Saeed got it to him. He left in the car.
All right. All right. With that being said, man, look, when you got an elite quarterback, 5-star from the 2025 class, Spiderweb, sitting there, right? Like this kid came out of nowhere. I think he had a solid junior year, but the way he did in his senior year in high school is what made him an elite 5-star. And to me, Ohio State got themselves a steal. But this is the thing. He ain't going anywhere. This is the starting quarterback. He's been starting since his red shirt freshman year. Now, Aaron Nolan to me will probably be the one man out the building, although right now he's the number 2 on their roster. But Sinclair, you kind of getting a bigger version of what Aaron Nolan is. And then saying so, like to me, there's some teams in the country right now that's going to be offering that NIL bag to some of these quarterbacks to try to get them out of Ohio State. The question is, how good of a program is Ohio State? Right? Sometimes guys will stay and wait their time, but this is what you're looking at. If Webb's the starter, barring injury, I don't see no one coming in and taking his job until he decides to leave. And he's a true freshman. I mean, a true sophomore, right? So he's been starting since last year's freshman class. He's been starting since last year. He came in that same class. Julian Lewis and all those guys came in. And to me, he's going to start until somebody takes his job. Where I really don't see nothing that can not make him a starter. So then you're dealing with redshirt sophomore Aaron Nolan, who's been on campus for 3 years now. To me, he's the odd man out. Now you got Sinclair, who, if let's just say Spiderweb decide to stay to his senior season, then Sinclair can get 1 year starting, right? But when you got that type of talent, does he want to sit and wait and have 1 year of football to play to be able to put everything on tape to get himself to the NFL? Same thing with Sand. Sand just came from Alabama. And really never took the job. He was supposed to take the job over after Howard left, and that didn't happen. So I would say Aaron Nolan and Sand are the ones will be the odd mans out when it comes down to Ohio State. But I'm showing their roster to show what they've been doing. Peoples has definitely been their bell cow. Emmanuel Elliott, if you remember Ezekiel Elliott, Emmanuel Elliott related to him. They brought Justice Haynes in from the transfer portal. God damn. She's sundown, and she's sundown. I'm gonna have to go get her.
They're gonna have to bring her home. If that's the case.
Right? Yeah. 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 I'm not going down there till after dinner. Haynes and Sanu, big time power back. If you look at the type of running backs they brought in, right? You got elusive, right? 3 elusive. They brought in 3 elusive, but then they also got power backs in the building. And one of the guys that I think is going to be a super problem right here, Ansu Sano. Another 5-star they brought in. Now I'm not gonna go through their whole roster, but I was just setting it up to show you that they are set to be in a good situation. And this is what I really wanted y'all to see. Jeremiah Smith is still here in his junior year, and it's a possibility he could decide to go to the NFL early. Tate is still here, in his senior year. Um, and then you got Marlon Graham. Now these are all the guys that already were on a roster, but what they brought in, right, is what they brought in. Like Quincy Porter's from the 2025 class, dog, big time 4-star. But then they brought Chris Henry Jr. in the 5-star. Like their receiver room, and then you got nine North is still here. They are loaded at the receiver room, right? So they've been doing a good job, and Ohio State is like wide receiver U. So they are continuing to do that. Like right now, they're gonna have to go up against Oregon this week. And I really like that matchup. Like the last game Oregon and Ohio State played was a very tight ball game up until the fourth quarter late, and Oregon pulled it out with a couple turnovers and then pulled it out and made that a bit. It was a closer game than the score showed. It got ugly a little bit in the fourth quarter, but that's going to be the matchup that's going to really determine a lot of things going forward. So when you think about Ohio State sitting at number 5 right now and Oregon at number 8, remember what I said. If you ain't in that top 6, it can affect you when it comes down to playoff football. So big time matchup, Ohio State at Oregon, and then they also play Penn State too. So that's another big matchup. You see Penn State then now at 8-1 at number 11 in the country right now. So all these games coming up matter. That's why I said big dog games, right? They coming up, they matter. Alabama sitting at 8-0. They took on Florida State, beat them 35-9, and now they at Arkansas. Along with Texas A&M, 7-1. 7-1. Texas A&M hasn't been tested yet, though, but they're about to play their first user game. Their only loss is to number 9 Colorado at 8-0, but because they from the SEC, they got their schedule. I guess their schedule is better than ours or whatever, because I don't know how we beat the shit out of them, and we sitting here at number 9, 2 spots behind them in the college football poll. Like the Big 12 be getting played out by the poll voters. But Texas A&M, they are at Texas in that big rival game, so I can't wait to see how that's going to go. We're going to have to figure out how that's going to go. Hope the users play, because that's a game that's important, and that game needs to be played. And if Texas A&M can pull that game off, they're gonna continue to be where they are and who they are. But we don't know who they are yet. We know right now they're sitting at 7-1. Their only loss was their only user game. They didn't even play that because I ended up playing the computer. But we're going to have to find out what Matt is. Right now, he, has a really good record, and we haven't seen him play a user yet. So when they line up and play, they're going to show us who they really are. I'm glad you reached out, but that right now, fuck that. This league don't advance until tomorrow. You need to find out what's up with Clemson, the Ohio State nigga, the nigga that got Clemson in this league. That rival game over there is more important than over here.
I'm trying low.
Got you, motherfucking. But what I like about it, if you look at Texas A&M, right? Like I'm not gonna go to everybody's roster right now because this wasn't the show for that. I was really just trying to bring up something with Ohio State.
I hit him up too.
94 overall, offense, defense, and overall. This roster is really, really good. It's already good from what they already had on a roster. Plus, they doing a good job of bringing in talent right along with it, especially from the 2025 and the 2026 class. They can line up and play football with anybody in the country, flat out. So this Texas matchup is going to be a really big matchup. Come on, Oreo, you're knocking over gifts and shit. That's what we're doing today. So I would like to see this matchup right now. I think this game is more important to Texas A&M than it's an important game for both of them, because if you think about it, Texas beating a top 10 team will move them up from 15 for sure. How many spots, don't know, but Texas A&M, they don't want to fall past that 7th spot. They want to keep moving up the ladder and not down it. And then there's number 8 Oregon. Again, their big matchup is against number 5 ranked Ohio State. They're 7-1. Their only loss was to the University of Pittsburgh. And they're looking to rebound and really get back in the mix by beating the top 5 team, Ohio State. So Oregon, with their dog 5-star receiver Dorian Moore, is looking to continue to make waves and play good football. But again, we got some really big matchups throughout the country this season. At this week 10, football is just lined up to be really good this week. So I can't wait to see some of these user games. At number 9, Colorado sitting at 8-0. They are at BYU. It's funny because they play BYU in a bowl game in a couple of days. But we lined up to play BYU. The last couple times we played BYU, their wide receiver room has had days. So it's going to be some good football being played, and continue to go. And again, Colorado strength of schedule. There's only 2 other teams that's kind of playing good football in the Big 12 right now. And I think that's the reason why they can be undefeated right now. They're still damn near outside of the top 10, which is crazy to me, but that's what it is. Clemson sitting at number 10. We don't know who Clemson is either. Sitting at 7-1. Haven't seen a live game or a user game yet to really determine how good this Clemson team really is. What we do know is that they're going to get the wins against the computer, but we haven't seen them play a user yet. And until that happens, I can't really give a good clutch on what this Clemson roster or team is. But I do know what Penn State is. Penn State has been playing good football since 2024. They're a playoff team, and they also brought in Nicholas Harbor from South Carolina, and he's leading in the Heisman conversation right now. So as you can see, they beat the brakes off of Rutgers on their way to Northwestern. They got to play Northwestern, but they got some big games coming up and shit. So we about to see some shift in the college football rankings right now. Number 12 is Notre Dame, 28-17 over Navy. Boston College, who they face. USF sitting at 8-1. They're on a bye week. Michigan and Coach Rob and Bryce Underwood is starting to play good football as well. They got their only losses was 2 pretty much top 10 teams, right? Number 8 Oregon and number 2 Oklahoma. But they're 7-2 right now. They at Minnesota. That's a game I think they should win convincingly. And continue to try to move themselves back into that playoff conversation. Number 15 Texas, they're 7-2. They at number 7 Texas A&M, which should be a good matchup. So we're gonna find out who's the dog of the dogs in Texas when that game is played. Then there's TCU sitting at 16. They just took on Oklahoma State, beat that game 43-20. They got Kansas. Coach Sehow going to really, really not lose that game at all to keep himself in the mix as well. Same thing with Tennessee, 6-2. They at Mississippi State. They go play them, sitting at 6-2. They just, again, these teams right now that we're talking about are fighting to get themselves into the playoffs. Florida Gators, 7-1. They just lost to Auburn, 61-30. No wonder they're talking about, damn, we gotta play the computer over here. Shit get real. Same thing with Tulane, 6-2. They just lost to Virginia Tech, 51-33. That computer don't make mistakes. You can't make a lot of mistakes. Better play them like you playing a game you need to win. And then UCF, man, with them. Listen, UCF offense is very explosive. I think they found their rhythm. They found out what they want to do when it comes down to pitting offense product on the bill. Look, they got a Randy Moss on the outside. They got a Calvin Johnson on the other side. Their running back room is thick. They can do multiple things offensively, but I think the scheme that they run is so official for what they have as far as roster-wise, right? Scheme goes with the players. Players go with the scheme. And in my opinion, it's a perfect fit, and that's why UCF is who they are, right? Now, they did lose 2 conference games.
Oh, I see.
They did lose 2 conference games, one to TCU and one to Colorado. And that Colorado game, if you didn't see it, you need to go to my channel and watch that football game. That was one of the best games played in the 2026 season. That UCF Colorado game was off the hook. All right, Wisconsin computer, Boise State computer. Then there's Florida State. They coming off a 35-9 loss to Alabama, sitting at 5-3. Ohio and Middle Tennessee are your top 25 ranks in the college football playoffs. If the playoffs was to start today, the picture will look just like this. Number 12, Boise State, 7-1, be taking on number 22 ranked Boise State at the number 12 in the playoffs. They will be taking on Miami at 7-1, number 5 seed. Texas A&M and Alabama holds the 9 and 8 seed. Texas is 7, Alabama is 6, 8-0, 7-1. That'd be a hell of a matchup. Then you're looking at number 11 versus number 6, Penn State and Pittsburgh. As you can see, Pittsburgh is ranked number 4 in the country, but number 6 in the poll. Number 11 in the country, they match right up 11-11. So 8-0 versus 8-1. And then 10 will be Oregon. They're ranked number 8, but they're number 10 in the playoffs, 7-1. They'll be the 10th seed in the playoffs right now. And Ohio State, 5. with number 7 in the playoff C 8-0 versus 7-1. The funny thing is they play each other, right? Ohio State plays Oregon, Pittsburgh plays Miami, and Texas A&M got Texas, so they all play each other. The number 1 seed is USC, 2 is Oklahoma, 3 is Colorado, and Clemson in the ACC holds the 4th spot right now. All right, let's talk about a award watch list right now. This is the watch list, so we'll talk about everybody. Vernon Livings. All right, Vernon Livings from USC is holding it down as a sophomore. Like, look, he showed his ass last year, but they had the Heisman winner last year on their team at the receiver position, is Zachariah Branch, who's on to the NFL. He'll be getting drafted in the 2026 NFL draft and real draft. So this upcoming season, we'll be seeing him walk across the stage as one of the top picks in that draft. Nicholas Harbor, though, number 2 on the Player of the Year right now. This is his second season at Penn State, and since he got to Penn State, he's been nothing but an animal. He is the number 1 receiver, and you can argue right now that coming out, he'll be the number 1 receiver in this draft. Right, when you're looking at 6'5", 242 pounds, and he's the fastest player in college football right now, and it matters. How about at number 3, Tajay McCoy? He balled out. He's been leading the league in sacks every year, and is no short of doing the same thing this year. He's going to break the sack record all time. And right now he's even in the Heisman conversation, but he is balling for Colorado. The question is, as a junior, is he going to stay or leave? Right? Because if they can keep him for another year, they have some up and coming young players from that 2025 class and 2026 class that are going to be dogs. Colorado is really in a situation right now. How about Jonas Williams, the 5-star quarterback of the 2026 class? Look him up in real life. You'll know who you're dealing with. But Jonas Williams at Tulane is sitting at number 4 because of how he's playing, right? Scrambling quarterback that do a little bit of everything. Tulane's offense is solid as well. Then you got Darius Teller, the senior, right? NIL player. He's been on the roster since we started the league, but he's in his senior year, and he's the bell cow right now after some big-time running backs are moving on to the NFL. How about Ricky Smalls, the cornerback, right? This is going to be the first cornerback since Travis Hunter to be on the Heisman race right now. But when we call true corner, like Charles Woodson, right? A corner. This guy is on there strictly as the first true corner that has the opportunity to be a top 5 in the Heisman race. As a cornerback, we're not talking about a guy that's playing some offense or punt return, kick returns. It's strictly cornerback. And right now he's taking votes away from his teammate Chris Johnson Jr., who just fell short of winning the Heisman last year to Zachariah Branch. But he's sitting at number 7. Chris Jr. going to have to make decisions because is he going to leave early and do what his dad did and make a career in the NFL, or will he stay and help Miami try to reach their goal, which is a national title? I think Cam Michael, right? Cam Michael, to me, is arguably, if he come out as a redshirt sophomore, he will be the number 2 receiver in the country. Right now on all mock drafts, they got him as the number. He will be in this class. If he came out in the 2026 draft, he would be the number 2 receiver on the board. But those guys won't be coming out to the 2027 class. So again, they're right now ranked 1 and 2 when you're talking about Nicholas Harbor at the receiver position and Cam Michael. And then there's Jeremiah Smith, and some will argue that Jeremiah Smith is the number 1 receiver in this class. So you're starting to look at some guys that are dogs, right? They all still got a year left, but they won't be coming out in the RDL league for another year or 2, right? So we got a class coming out now, and then this next class, depending on if these guys leave early or not, they'll be in the 2027 class. Jeremiah Smith, man, animal, been a dog since day 1, starter for Ohio State since day 1, and he's been the best thing smoking in that wide receiver room since Marvin Harrison. DeCorian Moore, the 5-star from out of Texas. He is a dog taking over. He's the number 1 receiver out there in Oregon, and he's their do-it-all. I think he's their Zachariah Branch in a sense, right? Like, he can give you a big game at any moment, or he can make a big play at any moment. Like, he's explosive from anywhere on the field, get the ball in his hand, and he can do some things. I literally seen him single-handedly take over a football game against Michigan. Quarterback Jaden Maeva, senior year, man. He's looking to win the Unitas Award as his top senior quarterback in the country. But He's off from his senior year. He's been a starter for a few years over there at USC, holding it down. And then there's another defender, and Elijah Rushing, sitting at number 12. So that's your player of the week. Player of the year players in the awards race and the watch list. Now let's talk about head coaches in the country. Adrian Peterson takes over the Oklahoma job. He's sitting at 1. We have Richard Brooks, got Ohio playing really well. Mark Cook for USF. Aaron Donald holding down Pittsburgh. Always be recruiting. The nigga lazy as hell. He ain't even changed his guy name. Always be Cruton sitting at number 5. Gamebred Rivera at number 6. Don Bishop at number 7. Hitman Hitter at number 8 for Ohio State. And as you can go down, Colorado Deion Sanders at 10. And then C. Hound Stanley at TCU is at 11. And 12 Jackson Anderson. Let's get to the best quarterback in the country right now. Jonas Williams is holding that spot down. Jaden Maeva, then Juju Lewis is number 3. Ty Simpson for Alabama holding it down for number 4. He better be in his redshirt senior year. Donnie Dietrich for Penn State, redshirt freshman. He's holding things down right now. Number 5. Avery Johnson, Oklahoma. Number 6, it just rings different. We know he's a Kansas native, supposed to be at Kansas State. He decided to leave to chase the championship, and I ain't mad at him. I think it was the smartest decision that man made. Bryce Underwood, the 2025's best quarterback, the 2025's number 1 player in the country. Bryce Underwood at Michigan in his sophomore year. He's been a starter for 2 years, and he's holding it down, right? He's trying to catch up to the likes of Juju Lewis, and a couple of those guys from that same class that's been putting in work like a spider web. DJ Lagway transferred from Florida to Texas Tech, and as you can see in his true junior year, he's the starter and he's putting in work. Spiderweb, we talked about him. He's number 9 on this list. Sean Lee Jr., the dual threat quarterback. I would go on a limb and say he's leading all quarterbacks in rushing yards right now. And then there's Pat Gentry, the dual threat, 6'6", 210. Could do a little bit of everything. Now, if you guys remember your quarterback history, there's a quarterback that played in the NFL that was a dog for UCF. This guy remind me of. If you are in double R league and you can tell me who that quarterback is and the name who I'm talking about, I'll give you a +2 speed, +2 excel on any player you want it on. Remember, Pat Gentry. Look at him. Look at his frame. 6'6", 210 pounds, dual threat. He's a scrambler. UCF had a black quarterback. That's the last thing I'll give out. If you could type his name in the comment section right now and you're in double R, you'll get a 2 speed to excel. Now, if you're from my real draft league or even homecoming, not homecoming, we don't touch shit over there. Real draft league, if you're in the Madden league and you know the answer to that, type it in the comment section. Show us that you're watching, and you type it in the comment section, and I'll give you that same 2 speed to excel over in the Madden league. All right, we look at the best defensive players in the country. Tajay McCoy's holding it down, looking to win that not just once. He's looking to win that multiple years. Ricky Smalls, man. Baby, holding it down at the cornerback spot, bro. He's sitting that slot. He got more sacks than some of y'all DNs. Elijah Rushings, man, Look, he's in his redshirt sophomore year, man. He's a 5-star from out of Arizona. This kid is the dog. Oregon stole him right out of Arizona's lap. All right, we're gonna call him Double A, right? Double A Battery, Oklahoma senior. In his last senior year, he's definitely going to the NFL. There you go.
USC.
There you go. There you go. Good shit. Send me the person you want your 2 and 2 on. All right, Marquise Lightfoot holding it down for Miami, and you're gonna see the next Gamebred, the USC coach. Elias Rudolph, Miami, another defensive end. This is a young boy too, right? Redshirt sophomore, Elias Rudolph, 6'6", 250 pounds. And then you're looking at Jamison Eaton, who actually won first team All American as a freshman. Took it from NOBB right here, Nathaniel and Boateng. He took it from him, right? Nathaniel won the Defensive Player of the Year last year. No, he won the Best Linebacker Award last year. He didn't win the Defensive Player of the Year last year. That was held down by none other than Tajay McCoy. All right, so we start to see some linebackers. How about JT's younger brother, JT Tumalolo? Oh my God, redshirt sophomore year, he's who he is, and we know he's going to be a first rounder when it's his turn to come out. Alexander Shield Knight, right outside linebacker in his freshman year, 6'3", 251 pounds, and he's a redshirt freshman. And number 10, Malachi Williams for Penn State, number 11. and Penn State redshirt sophomore, so he'll be back. You see a lot of young guys making plays, right? Morgan Pinkston, right outside linebacker for UCF, another true sophomore. So just take a look at the top 12 on this list you got. Let's just look at it like this. It's so many underclassmen on here that I'd rather go to the upperclassmen, right? Senior. Literally one senior on his defensive player, best defensive player award race right now. All right, best defensive back in the country is Ricky Smalls. This kid is an animal. He does it all. I don't even know if he's going to play corner in the NFL, but they going to have a tweener. Like, so pay attention to what I'm saying right now. Most of y'all that know my real draft league, you understand what a tweener is, right? There's rules to being able to move players to certain positions, right? Corner to safety, safety to corner, things like that. In some instances, you can't even move them at all. But if you draft a Ricky Smalls, he can play anything on defense as a in his secondary, right? He can play corner, slot corner, 6'3", 191 pounds. Like, this kid could do it all. Like, we don't even know what his natural position is because he does a lot of slot, playing in the slot, but he's probably one of the best corners on the outside as well. He's a man-to-man cover guy, but like, as you can see, his tendency is slot corner. So most likely he'll go in the NFL as a slot. But there are some teams that we spoke to scout-wise that say he'll be their safety. They'll draft him in the first round in the top 15 picks, and they'll move him to safety. It's 4 teams that I know for a fact that will play him at safety when he gets in the NFL. Look, man, the man said his idol is Deion Sanders. And it's funny that he didn't go to Colorado. He chose Miami over Colorado because Fort Lauderdale, right from Florida. Now, he's from Deion's hometown, but he still stayed home with the home team. At 6'3", 191 pounds, man, that's a long length, no diddy corner, long arms, and he gets to the quarterback. He plays physical in the run game, and he shuts down your slot receiver, which is most guys' check down guy, the drag guy, the zig route guy, the guy that do all the short shit. He takes that away from you right away. He told the world he wears number 21 because of Deion Sanders. Deion responded, but you at Miami and not Colorado. Straight like that. Nate Ritchie in his redshirt senior year. Look, man, the guy been on campus for 5 years, and he feel like it's his year. He deserves it. He will be a guy that will go into the NFL draft in the 2027 class. Makari Vickers, in real life, he transferred to Colorado, but on real life, on a game, he's the number 1 corner for Oklahoma right now in his true senior year. And you will see this guy in the NFL. How about Zion Branch? Zachariah's older brother is still in college when the younger brother, 3 and out, went right to the league. He'll be a number 1 pick in this year's, he'll be a first round pick in this year's draft. All right. Eli Bolden, Oklahoma's redshirt sophomore at the cornerback position. You can see they got two top 5 corners right now, all right? Doesn't mean they're the best top 5 corners in the college football. They just, right now in the season, they haven't got them on this defensive back list as top 5 guys right now. So when you got Makari Vickers and Eli Bolden on your outside shutting shit down, it makes it so much easier to play defense when you got guys that can sit on the island and make plays. And man, right? Brian Griffin, UCF, the strong safety. This kid will knock your fucking helmet off. And that's fact. 6'5", 227. He could play linebacker and most likely will play linebacker in the NFL. His player projecting is, at linebacker, and they think when you think of a guy that's going to go from the safety position to playing middle linebacker and can fuck around and be an all-pro at middle linebacker when he gets to the league, you got to think about the Bears' very own. Again, tell me that guy's name. We have a kid that went to Mexico State, played safety, transitioned to middle linebacker, and then played his career at Chicago, and probably is going to be a yellow jacket guy. Well, Brian Griffin reminds us of that guy. You know that guy's name, type it in the comment section. I know his name, but if you know his name, type it in the comment section. Number 7, Jermaine Matthews Jr. He decided to stay and not come out early at Ohio State, and he's been bitching because of playing time because he ain't the number 1 corner over there right now, right? But this guy will get drafted, and he will be somewhere between the 2nd and 3rd round. He will get drafted, but he's just not their best corner right now. And he's bitching, but they don't care. He's a senior, so you can cry all you want about playing times, and you're gonna have to deal with what we want you to deal with right now. And he's just mad because he felt like he should to be on the outside. He thought that coming back for his senior year, he would be the number one corner in the room. And Ohio State defensive coordinator told them, "We're a team, son. You're gonna play where we need you to play at, and that's your leverage." Erlacher. How about Marcellus Williams from USC, the corner, sophomore, redshirt sophomore, slot corner, 5'10", 182 pounds out of Carson, California. USC does probably the best job in the league of keeping home talent home, right? They keep their homegrown talent in their hometown state, and then they fucking dick ride and take your players once they done going after the guys they want. Next motherfucker I see you pop up in Colorado's, I'm fighting for some money. You pop up and steal them out of nowhere when you wasn't even going after them. We gonna fight. I can't wait to play you in real life on this game. Kamari Ramsey. Oh yeah, some of my attention going back to Madden. I played my first Madden game last night and lost that bitch, but it made me feel like it's time to lock into Madden as well. And there's a few other guys in my league right now that play in both, and they feel the same way. The game is so much slower.
took my 5-star
I like
safety.
I like the college
Wow.
football way better than Madden, but Madden is slower, and you got to really adapt to how that shit is, right? You just hopped on and played your first game. That shit is right, but I like it. I think Madden is solid so far. In the first game I played, we'll see. But Kamari Ramsey, another USC kid, this kid been in the league for a while. He's ready to go to the NFL. 91 overall. He's going to be one of those guys that go in the first 2 rounds as well. All right, and then to hire on Nichols for Ohio State Junior. Look, when you lose safeties like they lost,
Toyota, I think, needed him.
oh yeah, I got Tejada, you right. But you took more than that from me though, remember? And remember, your first week of recruiting was terrible for you because that shit did some skits and shit, and that shit ain't even hurt you. You caught right back up. Max told you that though. You'll catch right back up though. You don't got nobody in California affecting you right now. You dominating in California when it comes out of recruiting. That's why you are what you are right now. Tyler Turner for Oregon, redshirt junior at safety, a hybrid safety, and then Ryan Mack, that other corner. Goddamn, mom, I'm not picking you up right now. Anyway, I'm not gonna keep answering the phone. She's sundown in her early stage dementia kicking in. My sister and them is not gonna sit through that shit. Ryan Mack, cornerback, Miami. When I told you that you was back, that tells you every time we go to a position and an award, somebody's gonna be in the mix, such as running back. Chris Johnson is sitting there, and C.J. Baxter is sitting there. They got C.J. Baxter to transfer into him. They had a back that was a dog the year before. That's going to be in the NFL this season coming up. But Vernon Livings is the guy you want to talk about. True sophomore. He's a monster for them, right? This is a real life player from the 2025 class. And he's balling right now. They picked the number 5 on him. Reggie Bush said, "I have no problem with you wearing my number." And the reason why is because he does a little bit of everything. He can play receiver. He can play running back. He doesn't come off the field. He's a third down back. They don't ask him to block a lot though, but he is serviceable at blocking. But 9 out of 10, if they throw the ball, he's in a route. Simple as that. And he's doing it. He's giving you 100 on the ground and 100 as a receiver, damn near every game right now, which is why he's leading the league in the Heisman votes right now. Why he's being who he is. I think that they're looking to say that if they have another Heisman to bring home to USC, he's going to join the likes of Marcus Allen, Reggie Bush. He's going to join those likings as a running back that will bring home the Heisman back to Trojan Nation. USC, Vernon Livingston. His best shot right now is right now this season. You'll see that later on. Darius Teller, Penn State. Again, Penn State is known for running back you, right? Go right back to Saquon Barkley. You can go even farther back to Kenjana Carter. I can keep going. That's what they are. They produce really good running backs, man, especially those guys that don't come out in single digits, those 33s, those 32s, the 25s, 28s, 26s, those type of numbers right there. Those guys are those guys, right? And he's wearing the number 33. Loose is back, but he got good size and good weight, right? 5'11", 210. Playing style is the reason why he is who he is. Sidestepping 360, so you know he's shifty as shit. And then Chris Johnson Jr. There's not a running back in the conference, running back in the NFL right now that can do what Chris Johnson can do because of the speed. His dad had speed for days, but the son has the speed and he can do both. Listen, man, this guy had 2,000 yards as a receiver playing running back. He had 2,000 yards and 1,000 yards rushing. And he's looking to pretty much try to do it again this year. Now he's sharing a lot of time with C.J. Baxter, and is must do, right? C.J. is a dog, transferred out of Texas and went back home state. Said I'm going back home to the state of Florida and playing for the Miami University Hurricanes. But Chris Johnson Jr., man, speed demon, arguably the fastest fucking running back in the nation. And he's a look. If they wanted to play him at slot receiver, he can literally be a slot receiver and be the best slot receiver in the country. That's how good Chris Johnson Jr. is. It's funny that he lost the Heisman race to me in the championship game. Let's call it a hamstring injury that pulled him out of that third quarter. He didn't get to play past the third quarter. The nigga touched the ball 5 times and had over 300 plus yards and 3 touchdowns on 5 touches and couldn't finish the game and was gone early third quarter. God damn, mom, I'm not gonna come get you right now. Stop calling me. And the fact that she keep letting her call me right now is crazy. All right, Teller Tatum. Last year, you didn't hear Teller Tatum as the main back in Oklahoma. Last year, there was another name that was coming across the board and mentioning all these yards running race or the Ward's race, and that guy is still in the building. But Taylor Tatum, right, big time 4 star out of Longview, Texas, is the guy in Oklahoma. They're loaded, right? So is Miami. There's a couple teams that are loaded, and when it comes down to the running back room, when you got multiple backs that can do it, and they are touching the football and they getting carries, and your guy is still one of the best running backs in the nation, and actually number 4 on this list for the award best running back in the nation. That makes a big difference on who he is. And then he's a redshirt sophomore, so he could come out anytime he want from here on out. I doubt he will. But he is eligible to come out. C.J. Baxter, a redshirt junior, same thing with him. Orlando, Florida. He's sitting at number 5. And the only reason why he's not higher on the board is because Chris Johnson Jr. is sitting at number 3. And that's impressive because you're going to see it at the receiver room too. But Miami really is proving that they are the best running back room in the country, right? Unless you see another Oklahoma guy in the top 5, which you're not going to see because at 3 is Chris Johnson Jr. and at 5 is C.J. Baxter. At 4 is Teller Tatum. I don't see another Oklahoma running back on here right now. Now, I think Max will argue, well, that's because we're using him. He's the guy. Nope. To have the best running back room, you have to have the guys. Dyer Hill. Look, California kid. He decided, I'm not staying in California. I'm going to stay on the West Coast, and I'm going to Oregon. I like the uniforms. I like the Nike contract. Dog. And we haven't seen him really get to it. His best play I've seen of this season was if he was to win the best running back award, it's going to be because of that play he had against that 81-yard run against Michigan in that big time matchup, Michigan versus Oregon. He had a run that made somebody fall on their head uh, and took that thing to the crib. Coach Simon, though, right, 6'1", 225. For him to be elusive back, like the fact of the matter is he's more physical than elusive, but he can do it all at running back for UCF at number 7. Jeremiah Love has been Mr. Consistent for Notre Dame in his senior year. He will be going to the NFL, and with that 94 overall, somebody will be selecting him in the first round. And then Asu Sanu on his true freshman year, power back. This is Eddie George on steroids, 6'3", 232 pounds. This kid is from the 2026 class. Look at his high school highlights to figure out who he really is. And the fact of the matter that he's sitting on this thing right now at number 9, and his true freshman year, they got running backs for days, but he's going to be the running back for the next 3 years, guaranteed. Peyton Lewis, Speed Demon, Junior, Tennessee. Torrey Blaylock, I'm sorry. I think receiver turned running back. Running back turned receiver. In that crowded backfield, and then Jeremiah Cobb rounds off your top 12. Best receivers in the nation. So Nick Harbor is number 1 right now. And this is what I'm gonna say when I point out these running backs, right, and I start to tell you why I think who will be the best running back in the 2027 class, as far as RDL, Real Draft League, out of these receivers that's still playing college football right now. I'm going to give you a story for all of them, right? So Nick Harbor at 6'5", 242 pounds, he's a freak. I'm not saying we never seen this in the NFL before, right? But I don't know if we've seen 6'5", 242 pounds. Like if he played tight end, he would be probably the best tight end of all time, like for real. But at wide receiver, that body size, that speed, right? This kid is a 10-1 in 100. This kid is a 20.1 and a 200. Like this guy is a speed demon, and the fact that he's physically that size and he's a deep threat more than a physical receiver tells you everything you need to know. Because I didn't say he's not physical. I said his tendency is a deep threat more than a physical receiver. But they do everything with him. What you see Cam Michael do or DeCorian Moore do or Jeremiah Smith or all these receivers, which he could do anything they can do. You want to line up and give him a jet sweep, he could do it. Throw him a bubble, he could do it. Beat you over the top, he could do it. Catch the short pass. I think that's going to be the argument of who's the better receiver out of this class. It's going to be what is Nicholas Harbor? What is he about when it comes down to a possession guy, right? Does he move the chains? He's a big play every time, a big play threat every time he touches the football. But like, can he catch that 3rd and 6? Right? Can he catch that drag and take it to the crib? And then they also want to know how good is his hands for real. Is that her hitting you too? Can you answer her so she can stop calling us for about 10 more minutes? Tell her, are we here? Tell her she will get dropped off if she's ready to come on. Now, Cam Michael. All right. Cam Michael in his redshirt sophomore year, his freshman year, this is the one receiver him and Draylon Miller could have played as true freshmen on a really loaded Colorado football team when it came out of the receiver room. Cam Michael is an athlete, though. If you go back to the 2024 class, he was one of the top 5 athletes in the country. His senior year, he played quarterback more than anything else, but corner and quarter. Like, if a guy on the roster that could probably do what Travis Hunter did, it could be Cam Michael. But I think he found his niche at 6'1", 190 as a deep threat. But this kid does everything. Just put the ball in his hand and let him go to work. Simple as that. There's not a receiver in the nation, game for game, catching, getting the ball thrown to him more than anybody else, right? Like he is a 11 double-digit catch guy every game. He's that guy, and they have weapons along with him. But he got a really good quarterback throwing him the football. Now, I'm not going to call him the number 1 receiver in this class. I'm gonna say he's in top 5, right? I do think you go Nicholas Harbor and Jeremiah Smith from Ohio State. Those 2 guys will be the prototypical best 2 receivers in this year's class. But Cam Michael is the guy that you get, and you get everything out of him, right? Because you get a shifty, small receiver, right? At 6'1", not really small, 190, not really small. But the way he plays like a Zachariah Branch, the way he plays like a Tyreek Hill, he can take the top off of anybody's defense, but he can play with the ball in his hand and do a little bit of everything. They want to put him at running back, he can do that, right? Like he can do a little bit of everything. He is the guy that can move the sticks. He is the focal point of your offense. He is the guy that's going to get you that 3rd and 4, that or that 3rd and 18. Like he's the guy that if you don't have help over the top, you're in trouble. And then if you put help over the top, he's still so deadly at getting open and route running and things like that. Then their best receiver on the team, who's probably not even on this list right now, Draylon Miller, works the rest of the field, right? So it's really hard to come to Colorado and really deal with this offense with the way they do things with Cam Michael. DeCorian Moore, right? First 5-star 2025 class, number 1 receiver in the country. And he's been a starter since he stepped into Oregon and Eugene. And he's been that guy, right? But this is the year where he's proven he's that guy. 5'11", 196. He can do a little bit of everything as well, right? These type of receivers are the guys that when you just get the ball in their hands, you don't care. They're not receivers. They're just the best at what they do. Simple as that. They're not labeled that. But Jeremiah Smith is a receiver. And if there's anybody that's going to argue with Nicholas Harbor, there's Jeremiah Smith, right? Another 6'3", 215 freak body-wise, but can do everything, right? Everything you need him to do, he'll be doing it. Simple as that. But I do think they're the number 1 and 2, and it could possibly be 1A, 1B with Jeremiah and Nick Harbor. Rashad Renfro out of Pittsburgh. Look, the deal with him is this is the first year we're getting to see it. But as you can see, is the theme. These 6'5" guys are taking the top off you. They're not just going up and they running by you. But I think with Renfro, though, he give you the 50-50 catch as well. Like this guy will go up and go over you, snatch that ball out the air, make you miss the tackle, and then keep it pushing right after that. And he's from Philadelphia, PA. He decided to stay in that area and go to Pitt. Baller right now. So we like what we're getting out of him. His deal breaker, Coach Prestige. But I think with their record right now and what they're doing, he ain't going nowhere soon. And he's a redshirt sophomore, so the only thing could kill him in my opinion, is he need to stay for another year to get some more tape. But if he left early, I do think that he can probably be a second round, third round guy. Bob Boyce Tulane, sophomore, true sophomore too, deep threat, 6'3", 214 out of Louisiana, right? Getting a guy that got really good speed and can blow the top off your defense. But I do think as a true sophomore, he's going to need more. He ain't going nowhere anyway, but I think this is the guy that'll stay to a senior year. Doze Zukami, TCU redshirt sophomore, another deep threat. This is a guy that really plays well in that system, RPO system. He can do a little bit of everything as well, but like he's really good off the play action in the RPO game. Corey Sims, USC, man, you talking about a 5-star? There it goes. Um, he became their number one receiver. Period. So now they got their 1-2 punch. It's almost like they got the triplets in USC. Remember Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart, and then what receiver they had from New Jersey, or number 8? Steve Smith was on that roster as well. I can't remember his name on top of my head, but it gave him that triplet feel. That's what you're getting out of Livings, Maeva, and then Corey Sims. Ryan Sims from Miami, don't know too much about him. Trey Griffiths, neither. Devin McClellan, Texas, senior year, true
Jarrett, I
receiver.
think.
Yep, Jarrett. Yep, Wayne Jarrett. And in fact, the fact of the matter is, deep threat Devin McCoon, to me, wouldn't even have been on anybody's radar for Texas, but that's how things go. You never know how guys develop and play, right? And there's some good receivers over there for Texas, really good receivers on that roster. But yeah, he's the one standing out. And Dakotas, the biggest name, like this is the hottest name in the league. Look, he got Dakotas' name in the league, Dakotas Crawford. Lombardi Award. This award is presented to the best defensive lineman of the year. Tajay McCoy want to bring this thing home one more time. Elijah Rushing is in the mix for that. Both of these guys are underclassmen. Both of these guys are draft eligible. Both of these guys would be at the top of the draft. Double A battery sitting here in his senior year, he has no choice but to ball out and come out. I just think the way he playing this year, he's going to be a first round pick. Marquise Lightfoot in his junior year, he's also draftable. He's also draft eligible. He's at number 4 right now, and he's one of the big reasons why Miami is sitting at number 3 in the nation right now, especially with that gold quick jump. Elias Rudolph, Miami. So now you got two edges, right? Your right and left edge coming off the right and left edge, and they're in the mix for Lombardi Best Defensive Lineman Award. So that tells you what that defense looks like in Florida. JT Tumalolo, to me, he's the most polished defensive end in the country. Like technique, all that stuff. Like everything he do, he can go. He can go from speed, transition from speed to power, really fast. He got a lot of weapons in his toolbox, right? His pass rushing moves are matched by none, really. I think Tajay McCoy is probably the other one that has a big tool, a lot of tools in the toolbox when it comes down to pass rushing moves. But JT can do it all right now. And to me, I think that he will stay a year. I don't think he'll come out early, but I think he's not going past his redshirt junior year. Malachi Williams for Penn State, redshirt sophomore, sitting at number 7 right now. Speed rusher, 6'3", 215. Like this guy probably gonna play a little bit outside linebacker. Like they do got some time to grow, but they gonna have to. They really want to pit. They want him to be playing at like 225, 230. So I can see him playing outside linebacker before his career is done at Penn State. Joshua Mickens right in. He's in his senior year. He's on his way out the door. 6'3", 233, 85 overall. He's number 8. David Stone for Oklahoma. Listen, junior. Some say 5-star, some say 4-star. This is just when your roster and the type of players they recruited start to take this course. At 6'3", 283, he could play a lot of 3 techniques if they needed him to, and he's strong and physical, and he does give you a physical presence either if he's on the edge or inside over the A gap, depending on what look they want to give you out there in Oklahoma determines what he does. But David Stone is number 9. Mateo Ugalele, he said my last name is not going to go out like that. My brother went to the NFL last year and he played better than most guys thought he would play, and that's why he's a quarterback in the RDL right now. But I'm the Ugalele. I'm the guy. The younger brother is the stud of the family, and as of right now, this will be his last season in Oregon. And to me, I think he will be a day one guy. Notice how the last Number 9 through 12, all 5 stars. Colin Simmons out of Duncanville, Texas, 5-star dog as a junior. He'll probably stick around. T.J. Parker for Clemson, another 5-star in his senior year. Is looking to definitely be one of the top 5 guys in his draft class when it comes down to defensive ends. All right, our senior quarterback, if you're not a user, I will not speak on you. So as you can see, the top 3 are users. Jaden Maeva sitting at number 1. Ty Simpson and Avery Johnson. Those guys will be the ones fighting for this award at the end of the year. Who wins it? I think Jada Maeva will win it, but Avery Johnson is sure as hell pushing for to take this trophy home over Ty Simpson, in my opinion. All right, we're not going to spend time on all these, but I'm just going to go through their names because most of these guys you heard me speak about already when it came down to the Lombardi Award. Tajay McCoy, Elijah Rushing, AA, Marquise Lightfoot, Elijah Rodolph, JT Tamalula. You got Malachi Williams, Joshua Mickens, Ohio State, David Stone, Colin Simmons, Mateo Ogulele, and TJ Parker. Best interior lineman in the country. You're not going to be, this award is not going to be won by a user, but Zach Rice is going to be a big time get for somebody looking for offensive lineman in 2 more seasons in real draft. Sam Okalola, his brother is at Colorado. He's sitting here at number 3. Again, in that 2027 class, you're looking for inside offensive lineman, guards and stuff. There's some guys. Then you're looking at Nebraska's Justin Evans, Shamrock Umar Barvo, Tennessee, Joey Tenano. Don't care about him, but Amos Talalele, USC, and Robert Lewis, left guard for UCF. Best tight end in the country, Tyler Lowell. Look, man, at 6'7", 265, and got the speed of a wide receiver, right? They got the speed to a big outside big wide receiver, right? Um, he really has the speed to stretch the field. And when you 6'7" in the middle of the field for Miami, especially with that backfield they got and those guys on the edge at the receiver position, this tight end can really be funky. And that's why you see him sitting at number 1 right now. C.J. Nixon from Oklahoma, another one of those guys at tight end, probably could play receiver if they wanted him to. And David Robert. All 3 of these tight ends, UCF, Oklahoma, and Miami, all 3 of these tight ends are gifted. Tulane, they sent the guy. They will be sending the guy to the draft from their last year roster, and they're looking to try to do it again. This kid is in his redshirt freshman year, is literally only a 78 overall. A lot of room to grow from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. 6'6", 240 pounds. And he's the prize right now, right? Probably starting. They graduated a tight end, and they do got a guy that's going to the draft. But he came right in. He's one of those guys that came in, got a red shirt, developed way better than a lot of guys think. Like for him to get close to an 80 overall after 1 year of development tells you what Tulane is doing in their program. Their weight room and their trainer and things like that is trying to get him a little bit more physical. They want him to be playing at almost 250 pounds. But they feel like they got a guy that will be a future NFL tight end. And then Jerion Dickey had to make the switch from receiver to tight end. It was a long conversation between him and Coach Falk. But Coach Falk ended up convincing him to move to tight end, and look how it's paying off right now. Corbin LaShore from the 2025 class. Dog. When you think about tight ends, think about a guy that eats the middle of the field up. Corbin does a really good job of eating. You got to go back to the UCF game. And when they played, and literally you can argue Corbin LaShore is the reason why the comeback happened. Their last 2 touchdowns to take the lead was because of LaShore. Jelani Thurman, 5-star, Oklahoma, Ohio State, right, from Fairborn, Georgia, monster. This guy is physical. He can do everything. He can block in the run game and does a really good job blocking in the run game. And he's also a red zone threat. I would say he's the biggest red zone threat out of all the tight ends on this list. And guess what, fellas? 9 out of 10, you're going to see this guy going in the 2nd round, or he'll be a late 1st round pick when it comes down to real draft. Brady Prescorn, Michigan. I gotta go change the guy's name in real draft because we have him coming out. He's back. 2026 class, one of the top tight ends in that class, Caden Prothro. True freshman. He already 86. This kid is already that guy right now. And you got 3 more years with him to really show out and show off. Donovan Green, true senior. This guy will be, your hand in the dirt tight end. To me, the NFL team that pick him up is going to get a guy that can really play in that run game for sure. Georgia's Todd Bass, Nick Morris from Pitt, sophomore, vertical threat at 6'6", 248. If they can keep him around and he don't hit the portal on their ass, problem. Brewers Award. This goes to the best assistant coach of the year. Will McMillan, TJ Zachariah, Oklahoma's Mex Keys, and Jaden Khalid. Then you had Pittsburgh's Andres Estrella, DC. And then their OC, Jeff Singleton. Ohio State's DC, Chris Moles, I'm sorry, my bad. And then you got to come down to Ryan Winston for Colorado and Bear King for USC, the defensive coordinator. So Ryan Winston is really Pat Shurmur. Now, this role has switched right now because Easton won All-American freshman, and right now he's winning the Best Linebacker award. And Nathaniel NOBB is looking to do it again, right? He won this award last year as a true freshman, and as a true sophomore right now, he's looking to get it done. I'm sorry, Easton wasn't a linebacker. Number 2, where that number 2 linebacker at? Here you go. Herbert Scroggins was the guy that won Freshman of the Year last year. But now they got another one. So again, when you see Miami, they come in waves. Usually see two of them on the board doing things. But you're going to see that about the linebackers a lot. Alexander Shield Knight, 6'3", 251. Then you're looking at Kip Lewis, 6'1", 214. At middle linebacker for Oklahoma, 3 and 4. Morgan Pinkston, UCF. I told y'all he's a dog. Outside linebacker, he get to the quarterback and he can drop back in coverage. Herbert Scroggins, the best 2 linebackers in the country right now is Herbert Scroggins and OBB, Nathaniel Owosu Bootang. UCF's Derek McCormick. Oh, this might be that PlayStation, the Xbox. Fuck all that. Where the Xbox at? Ty Jackson, 2025 class, true sophomore. Garrison Madden, right outside linebacker in his senior year, NIL player. Then you got the fastest linebacker in the world, flat out fastest linebacker in the world. This guy running almost a 4.2. They clocked him in at a 4.3 at middle linebacker. He belongs at safety, to be honest with you. But right now he's holding it down 2nd year in a row. If he's gonna play linebacker though, he got to get stronger. That's one thing they're working on to get him stronger in his redshirt sophomore year. This was a safety, but with development, he turned into one of his speed. Like he physically just got better. Simple as that. Like he went through their little training program, weight program, and just got better. And got a little stronger and a little physical, and put on another 10 pounds. They want him to put on another 10 to 15 more pounds to really get more effectiveness out of him. But there's not a linebacker in the country that's faster than Michael Boganowitzki. Sertaron Perkins from Oklahoma. From our Ole Miss, sitting at number 11, and then Devon Jackson, Oregon, the redshirt senior. Really good on pass coverage at linebacker. All right. Best center in the country. Pittsburgh's holding down on 1. Florida has 1. Ohio State has the other. At number 7, you got Oregon with 1, and then you come all the way down to Byron Worrell for Clemson. And then you start looking at the kickers in the league. No user. Everybody missing kicks. And then punters, this is the guys that got to punt the ball a whole lot. Tennessee, Alabama, and Tulane all punt the football. And then the best returner in the league, you're going to Ryan Niblett, Texas, at number 15, Texas. He's a junior red shirt. This is a receiver running back, which I like a lot. 5'10", 202 pounds. That was a good move by them. Same thing with Torrey Blakelock, Oklahoma, sophomore. Nice little punt return, kick returner. Then Camden Jennings. Man, listen, bro. Cornerback. Like, he a true freshman, too. Like, he's going to be a problem. They calling him, he's going to be, they say he has the potential to be the best corner in Ohio State's history. And but they also got a kid Sanchez that's the same way from the 2024 class, I mean 2025 class, 5-star. That's that guy as well. But we're talking about returners right now. Coming out of Michigan, Amarion Stewart, their speed demon, little junior. Chris Johnson Jr. does a little bit of everything. He's doing a little bit more kick and punt returns this year than he did last year, which why he's on this list. But he's a guy, you give him space and opportunity, he can go anywhere from the end zone to the end zone, from anywhere on the field. That guy's that guy. All right, that's your guys on the Warrior Watch list. Let's talk about the top 5 Heisman guys. Again, Mr. Reggie Bush 2.0. Look, his last game against Washington, he had 15 carries, 25 touches in that ball game, resulted in 6 touchdowns, 126 on the ground, 133 through the air. He averaged 8.4 yards a carry against Washington and 13.3 as a receiver. Dog. Nick Harbor, number 2. Look, 11 catches, 398, went right over the receiving yards and one over the touchdown. But hey, it is what it is. They beat the brakes off of Rutgers. He caught the ball 11 times for almost 400 yards, 36.2 yards a pop. See, when I talk about these guys and I tell you what they are, they show you who they are on film, right? You can watch the film and see who they are. But Nicholas is the big threat waiting to happen. At any moment, he can walk behind your defense, and that's exactly what he did. You line up at cover 4 and quarters or palm, and there's a match defense. That's man to man. He throwing it up, right? You line up at cover 3, putting him in the slot, running slot feeds all game long. And then if you play man to man, he just feel like, don't press me because I'm too physical at the line of scrimmage, and I got the speed to run by you. And it don't take me long to get to top speed at all. How about defensive player Tajay McCoy comes out of Arizona State with 7 tackles and 3 sacks. He's already leading the country in sacks and looking to do it for the second straight year. And our first quarterback on the board, Jonas Williams, true freshman. Now he just lost. They just lost a big game in Virginia Tech, which is dropping him down. But he did go 20 for 36. 300 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, took 3 sacks. He had the ball, so carried the 6 carries for 28 yards. I don't think he was the reason why they lost the ball game. He couldn't stop Virginia Tech at all, which is the reason why they lost that game 51-33. But even though, to me, a loss shouldn't determine if you're a Heisman winner or not. And if you on a team that's undefeated shouldn't make you a Heisman winner or not. The best player in college football should win the Heisman. And right now, he's still in that top 5. And then there's the true cornerback, Ricky Smalls, the slot cornerback. Probably going to be, if he won the Heisman, even if he go to the ceremony as a top 5 guy, the fact of the matter is he'll be the first true corner to ever even be in that situation, Ricky Smalls. All right, conference standings real fast. You're talking about Clemson 7-1, 7-0 in the conference. Miami is 7-1, 6-0 in the conference. Pitt is 8-0, 6-0 in the conference. North Carolina is still in the mix. Computer team, if you want to be over here, is a user team. You can take 6-2, 5-1. Notre Dame got 2 losses in the conference. Florida State got 2 losses in the conference, and Tulane got 2 losses in the conference. With at least 4 to 5 games left, things could change over here. But my stretch of the imagination is going to be what happens between this Miami and Pittsburgh game. When that game line up and they got a lock and low, is going to determine who's going to the ACC championship. And unless Clemson has to play one of these guys, the loser is who can't afford that loss. Because if Clemson can escape these guys and don't lose another game, situations. But if the championship game was to be played today, uh, it will be Clemson and Miami. All right. And the Big 12, Colorado and TCU. And the reason being is UCF took a loss to Colorado and TCU. But they're in the mix, right? The season is still nowhere near over. Number 16, number 20, UCF. I still think those 2 teams have is going to have the front seat or front seat, but they're in the passenger. They're not in the driver's seat. They're in the passenger seat. And they waiting to watch how this ride going to play out. But right now, TCU will be in a conference championship game against Colorado if the shit started today. All right, fellas. Sorry about that last commercial break before we get up out of here. But again, TCU and UCF played already. TCU gonna have to head up there, so TCU has to win out to better play in this championship game, and UCF is waiting for a loss from TCU or Colorado. There's enough games left for them to still have a shot at getting into the conference championship, right along with Texas Tech and Cincinnati. In the Big Ten, you're looking at USC, Ohio State, Oregon, Michigan, and Michigan State, and even number 25, 21 ranked Wisconsin is in the mix to be able to still play in the Big Ten championship game. So you're looking at 6 teams that all have a shot. And right now, out of those 6 teams, 3 of them are undefeated and 3 got 1 loss. So you look at it like this: USC don't play anybody on this roster right now, so they just got to beat Michigan. They got to beat Notre Dame and UCLA, and they'll be in the dance. Ohio State got Oregon on the mix right now, and they still got Penn State, so that's going to be effective right there. If Ohio State win out, they'll go. If they don't win those games, they actually got Michigan as well. So they got Oregon, Penn State, and Michigan. So out of the top 6, Ohio State played 3 of the top 6. So their path of stand in the championship game is harder than anybody else's in the country. They can end up finishing with the best record and being the number 1 team in the nation because they went undefeated playing that record, that schedule, or they can end up being a team that don't make the don't get to the championship game and be fighting for their playoff life. The fact of the matter is, if they don't win all 3 of those games, right, they can afford to lose 1 out of the 3. Oregon, they play Ohio State this week. That's a big game. The winner of that game puts themselves in the driver's seat. And again, Michigan and Penn State both are waiting for the hiccups to happen between Oregon, Ohio State, and USC. And the problem is the Big Ten is very, very strong. I will argue this might be the strongest conference we got because when you look at the SEC, Oklahoma's dominating Alabama 6-0, but I don't think Alabama has been tested yet. I don't even know if they got a user win yet. Texas A&M, I'm saying same boat. I don't know if they got a user win yet. Florida 6-1 in the conference, 7-1, and then Texas is 5-2, and Tennessee is 4-2. All Texas and Tennessee, every team I just spoke about, they're still in the mix. Like this race ain't over right now. I think the only guarantee right now is Oklahoma, in my opinion. I do think Oklahoma already wrote their ticket. I don't think there's a team that's going to come play them unless it's an out of conference team. I don't think one team in the SEC is strong enough to beat this Oklahoma team right now. Man, I don't even know if any of them are still on the schedule, but I really think they're loaded to be able to play and win any game they play in the SEC. It's going to come down to Alabama, Texas A&M, Florida, and Texas, Tennessee. All those teams got to really make something happen, and we'll find out who play each other to determine what's going to happen down the stretch. But right now, if the playoffs were to start, it would be between Oklahoma and Alabama, right? And then I think uh, Texas A&M would jump Alabama if they beat Texas. All right, last but not least, matchups. Let's go to schedules. We'll talk about the schedules and I will talk about stats later. But matchups right now. All right, when you look at the ACC, the big matchup in the ACC right now is going to be Miami Pittsburgh. This is a top 10 matchup, 3 versus 4. This game is super important. Can't wait to see when it get played. As of right now, Miami has been reaching out like a motherfucker. We haven't heard a peep from Pittsburgh right now. I know they ain't ducking smoke, so we're not going to say that. We're just going to blame it on Christmas right now. But when that game is played, is going to be the game to watch for sure. And this when it comes down to ACC football, and it's going to determine a lot down the stretch. In the Big 12, I don't see a big game really sitting on the docket right now. UCF and Utah are really not. Big 10, here we go though. All right, so you're looking at Oregon, Ohio State, right? 5 versus 8. And let's just call it what it is. This was a dogfight last year. It's going to be right back in the mix again. And Ohio State got to travel to Eugene. So the upper hand is Oregon's right now. But I think Ohio State can play with anybody. Their roster is ready to play with anybody. So they're in a situation where this is going to be a big time matchup. Now, I would say this. Ohio State can lose this game, but then they play a tough schedule behind that. Penn State and Michigan still on the docket. Oregon can't lose this game. A loss will kill Oregon right now. So this is a matchup that definitely will be all eyes on it. And I would say this is more important than the 3 versus 4 game. In the SEC, I told you the matchup here is Texas A&M versus Texas, right? And the rival. This is big time. So the winner of this game is going to improve themselves, right? Texas being in the top 10, right? Texas A&M being in the top 10 right now, undefeated in the conference, matters more than anything right now. Can they hold on to that? That's going to be the question right now. Look, Texas got 2 losses. Both their losses was in conference, and they lost to big dogs. So the theme of the show is big dogs, and they lost to big dogs. So I'm gonna just say it like this: this game is more important to Texas, but it's just important for Texas A&M. So those 3 games that I highlighted are the 3 games we want to watch and can't wait to see. With that being said, Merry Christmas. Appreciate every last one of y'all. And hits the guru. This is DNA Gaming Ball Talk. We're out of here.
Say what a couple fools did. You ready?
I'm about to get ready.
Yeah, that's good stuff right
I know,
now.
but I still want to get.
Have a plan.
I know that's why I ain't going to take long. No idea.
Healing people with emotional burdens and mental illnesses. He offered hope to those who felt lost and gave them a chance to start.
I know. That show. I was doing that
The
show long
list
as
of
hell.
Jesus' miracles is long and awe-inspiring. He healed the blind, the lame, and even brought people back from the dead. Most importantly, he offered the miracle of salvation, a way for everyone to be forgiven of their sins and have a chance at eternal life. Even today, Christians believe that miracles haven't stopped happening. People who have strong faith in God can experience healing themselves and even be an instrument of healing for others. This ability to heal is seen as a well of God's endless compassion. It's a powerful reminder that God is in control of everything, from the natural world we see around us to the unseen spiritual realm. By performing miracles, Jesus wasn't just showing off his power. He was also fulfilling the prophecies made by the prophets of old.
I mean, what? Like,
These miracles serve as
watching
proof of God's existence and his ability to transform lives. When Jesus appears alongside Archangel Michael and the countless angels, it's a powerful image that brings hope and strengthens the resolve of the people in Jerusalem. They know they faced difficult times before and emerged victorious. With God on their side, they can overcome any challenge that comes their way. This vision gives them the assurance that they're not alone in their struggles. The appearance of Archangel Michael brings immense significance and encouragement to many people.
I bet Money Shannon ain't even near her right now, so I should call her. I was trying to make her keep her. I was trying to make her keep her phone here. I didn't even know she took it. That's why I wanted to keep her phone here, so she ain't fucking call her.
In the hearts of many, Israel holds a special place as the chosen city of the Lord, and Archangel Michael is revered as its protector. To grasp the depth of this belief, we turn to the scriptures. Archangel Michael, whose name means "who is like God," symbolizes authority and strength as a divine messenger entrusted with mighty tasks. The first mention of Archangel Michael comes from the book of Daniel. There we find him stepping in to assist after the angel Gabriel expresses difficulties in fulfilling his duties. This highlights Michael's role as a powerful guardian and helper. Throughout the book of Daniel, Michael is depicted as the defender and shield of the people of Israel. Jewish tradition further acknowledges Archangel Michael as the guardian of Moses' body, as referenced in the book of Jude. Additionally, in the New Testament's book of Revelation, Michael is described as the leader of a celestial army that defeats the dragon, symbolizing Satan, and safeguards the earth. This portrayal underscores Michael's role as a protector of the faithful, especially in Israel, with the ability to combat and overcome the evil forces. The presence and actions of Archangel Michael resonate deeply with believers and non-believers alike, sparking contemplation and prompting a reconsideration of established beliefs, particularly in Israel and beyond.
Use Kayak to book flights on days that cost less. Download the Kayak app now.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to know.
Throughout the ages, the church has held a deep reverence for Angel Michael. bestowing upon him a special honor that has endured since ancient times. Generation after generation, prayers have been lifted up to him, seeking his intercession and protection. The annals of history are rich with accounts and visions that highlight the significance of the esteemed Archangel Michael, portraying him as a holy figure of immense power and divine favor. One notable tale recounts a historic conflict where the nation of Israel, despite facing overwhelming odds and lacking in conventional weaponry, emerged victorious. It echoes a similar biblical narrative featuring King Gideon, whose army was purposefully reduced in number by divine decree, yet triumphed over their adversaries through the providence of God. The descent of Archangel Michael alongside Jesus Christ symbolized not just divine intervention, but a promise of victory and protection for the people of Israel, serving as a beacon of hope amidst the turmoil of war. Scripture itself bears witness to the awe-inspiring might of the angelic realm, with accounts like that found in 2 Kings 19:35, where a single angel decimated a vast army of Assyrians, laying waste to their encampment. Such feats leave one to ponder the unimaginable power wielded by Archangel Michael. Legends passed down through the ages speak of celestial beings hovering over Israeli armored cars during crucial battles, instilling courage and fortitude in the hearts of the soldiers. This phenomenon is interpreted as a manifestation of God's protection as he dispatches his angels to wage war on behalf of his chosen people. Indeed, these accounts serve as a testament to the unwavering faith and enduring resilience of the Israeli people who have persevered through countless trials and tribulations spanning millennia. Despite facing persecution and adversity for over 25,000 years, they remain steadfast in their trust in a higher power, drawing strength from the knowledge that they are guarded and guided by the celestial host, led by the mighty Archangel Michael. Their remarkable strength and enduring hardships speaks volumes about their deep faith in God. When Israel was established in 1948 and declared independence, neighboring Arab nations like Lebanon, Egypt, Syria, and Jordan weren't too happy about it. They launched big attacks trying to destroy the new nation. But even in the face of all that chaos, the people of Israel held on to hope, believing strongly in God's help. On the flip side, fear crept into the hearts of their enemies as they grappled with the consequences of their actions. This whole situation brings to mind something from the Bible, where it says that God is always watching over Israel, never taking a break. That kind of reassurance must have been a huge comfort for the Israelites, giving them the strength to keep going and believing that God would protect them. Nowadays, with all the tension in the Middle East and beyond, it's important for us to remember not to freak out when we hear about wars and conflicts. Instead, we should hold on to the promise that God will step in and bring peace. We look forward to the day when Christ comes back and sets up his peaceful kingdom. It's also important not to brush off stories about angels and miracles as just fairy tales. The Bible is full of stories about angels showing up and doing amazing things, like when they helped Moses and Peter. These stories remind us that God is always with us, sending his angels to guide and protect us, such as the appearance of the angel to Moses as a burning bush, which set the tone of his life and ministry. The next is the appearance of the angel to Mary to announce the conception of Jesus and Elizabeth for John the Baptist. The Bible also records that the man Elisha had prayed, and he saw his enemies surrounded by angels of fire who caused blindness to the enemies. It was also recorded that the angels of the Lord visited Abraham to convey the good news of his son, and this changed the trajectory of his life. The man Jacob saw visions of angels climbing up ladders, and he wrestled with an angel.
Looks nice.
In the New Testament, Peter was broken out of prison by an angel who destroyed the doors of the prison. All over the Bible, angels appeared to the people with either good news for war or to warn them of certain things. Absolutely. Knowing that we're not alone can bring immense comfort and strength. Throughout history, there have been numerous accounts of appearances by the Archangel Michael.
It's right there. I'm sorry.
often leading
Look
to
up where the
victories
cards
in
are. Where the
battles
cards
and
be at.
moments of great significance. One such remarkable instance is found in the life of Joan of Arc, a young woman who saw the Archangel in radiant armor.
Do you gotta take your uncle home tonight?
His appearance filled her with courage and conviction, inspiring her to lead the French army against English forces and lift the siege of Orleans during the 100 Years' War. This divine encounter fueled her unwavering belief in God's support, leading to a remarkable victory. Another notable occurrence is the appearance of the archangel to a young girl named Lopez while she was fetching water. During this encounter, the archangel performed miracles, igniting a deep devotion and reverence for him among the people. This profound experience led to the construction of a church in his honor, serving as a testament to the enduring impact of angelic manifestations. But are angelic appearances still worthy of celebration and significance today? In the book of Daniel, angels are described with awe-inspiring imagery, possessing faces shining like lightning and voices like thunder, illustrating their immense power. Throughout the Bible, angels are portrayed as enforcers of God's will, protecting his people and wielding control over elements such as fire, water, and earth. In the book of Revelation, 7 angels are depicted as instruments of God's wrath, tasked with sounding trumpets to herald significant events. Certainly, angels play crucial roles, especially in the prophesied end times, where they are expected to actively participate rather than merely observe. Even in our modern era, there are numerous reports of individuals encountering these celestial beings. Consequently, people are advised to treat others kindly, as they may unknowingly encounter angels in human form. Moreover, angels are believed to assist believers in fully realizing the inheritance that God has promised them. One of the most significant functions of angels is their involvement in preparing for the return of Jesus Christ. Despite the awe-inspiring nature of angels, believers have also been endowed with authority and the boundless love of God, exemplified through the sacrifice of Jesus. This inheritance, once prophesied, is now a reality in our lifetime, urging us to embrace it with gratitude and reverence. However, while angels possess unique qualities and abilities, they ultimately serve God and humanity. Thus, they should not be worshipped, but rather revered as servants of God who direct us towards Christ. As we navigate through life, it's essential to remember that our time on earth is temporary, and we should maintain a readiness for the imminent return of Jesus. In Luke 21:28, believers are encouraged to remain hopeful and steadfast despite the chaos and troubles of the world, which may distract us from this truth. To stay grounded in this hope, it's vital to continually meditate on the Word of God, finding comfort and guidance in its teachings. Angelic apparitions serve as reminders of God's nearness and his constant presence, urging us to keep the flame of hope alive in our hearts. By embracing this perspective, we can navigate life's challenges with resilience and faith, knowing that God is ever watchful and guiding us toward his eternal promises. In conclusion, let's embrace hope with unwavering faith as we eagerly anticipate the promise of a future with Christ. With God's Spirit dwelling within us, we experience the fullness of life, becoming known as Christians. We're deeply grateful to the Lord for his life and sacrifice, and we express our heartfelt thanks for all his blessings. As we receive his Spirit, may we be empowered to live according to his will and walk in his light each day. As for my beliefs, I'm here to assist you with your questions and provide information based on a wide range of sources, including religious texts and teachings. While the impact of divine manifestations, such as the appearance of Jesus, and angels may vary depending on individual beliefs and interpretations, many believe that they can indeed have a profound effect, offering hope, guidance, and reassurance to believers. As we reflect on the significance of these divine encounters, let's ponder some questions. How does the promise of Christ's return influence our daily lives and actions? How can we actively cultivate a deeper connection with God in anticipation of his coming? And how might we share the message of hope and faith with those around us? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments section and subscribe to the channel to stay updated on news related to Christians and Jesus. velvet canvas adorned with countless diamonds, disrupted by a sudden blinding flash. A celestial symphony fills the silent night as a majestic figure descends from the heavens. Jesus, accompanied by a radiant angelic being, hovers above the ancient city of Jerusalem. This is no myth or figment of the imagination. Eyewitness accounts of this extraordinary event have ignited a global conversation. Have you pondered the enigmatic signs heralding Christ's return? What does it truly mean when the heavens part to reveal divine beings? In this exploration, we delve into this astonishing phenomenon through the lens of sacred scripture. Is this the dawn of a new era, or the ominous prelude to a cosmic battle between light and darkness? We will meticulously examine every facet of this supernatural occurrence, deciphering prophetic symbols and unlocking the secrets enshrined within holy text. Prepare to embark on a journey that will challenge your faith and redefine your understanding of humanity's destiny. Hold fast, for the revelations you are about to uncover could irrevocably alter your worldview. Watch until the end to grasp the full magnitude of this miracle and its potential implications for our future.
At Harbor Freight, we design and test our own tools and sell them directly to you. No middleman, just quality tools you can trust at prices you'll love. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
In the heartland of history, where ancient stones whisper tales of the past and the vibrant tapestry of daily life unfolds, an extraordinary event has cast a long shadow. A celestial spectacle of blinding light and terrifying sound has gripped the nation of Israel. To compound the astonishment, a convulsive tremor shook the very foundations of Jerusalem, a city revered by countless millions, leaving the iconic Dome of the Rock in precarious balance. Against the backdrop of enduring conflict in the Gaza Strip, this otherworldly phenomenon has drawn the world's gaze. It is a stark and perplexing juxtaposition. A region mired in turmoil becomes the stage for a celestial drama of unparalleled magnitude. The reported sightings of Jesus and an angelic figure have ignited a global conversation, their echoes resonating with the ancient prophecies of Scripture. The Bible foretold a time of upheaval marked by extraordinary signs in the heavens. Could this be that moment? Are we witnessing the prelude to a cosmic battle between light and darkness, the emergence of a formidable adversary, and the triumphant return of the Messiah? In the labyrinthine streets of Jerusalem, where faith and skepticism intertwine, a fervent debate has erupted. This city, once trodden by prophets and apostles, now pulsates with speculation and wonder. Is this celestial display the harbinger of a new chapter in the unfolding of biblical prophecy? Beyond doubt, this event carries profound spiritual implications. In an age defined by uncertainty and division, a beacon of the divine has emerged. Jerusalem, the eternal city, has become the epicenter of a revelation that challenges our understanding of reality. This is a time for introspection and discernment. The truths you uncover may reshape your faith and your perception of the world. We will explore the celestial enigma and ponder its meaning within the human history. The ancient city of Jerusalem, a crucible of faith and conflict, has been irrevocably altered. Within its hallowed grounds, a phenomenon of unprecedented magnitude has unfolded. Reports initially dismissed as rumor or delusion have solidified into a tangible reality. The physical manifestation of Jesus Christ and a celestial being. No longer confined to the pages of Scripture or the depths of human longing, the divine has breached the veil separating heaven and earth. In a location steeped in religious significance, a convergence of the sacred and the secular has occurred. Eyewitness accounts paint a picture of extraordinary clarity. A figure, radiant and ethereal, surrounded by an aura of divine light. Beside him, a being of celestial beauty, their combined presence casting an otherworldly glow upon the city. A cross, symbol of salvation and sacrifice, formed a luminous halo around them. Its ethereal radiance was a stark contrast to the earthly realm, yet it seemed to harmonize with the ancient stones of Jerusalem. As if in response to this cosmic event, the heavens opened, and a host of angelic beings descended, their forms shimmering with celestial light. The crowd, a mixture of disbelief, awe, and reverence, was overwhelmed by the spectacle. Their reactions, captured in a mosaic of photographs and videos, serve as irrefutable evidence of this extraordinary occurrence. The implications of such a visitation are profound and far-reaching. Jerusalem, a city perpetually in the throes of religious and political tension, has become the epicenter of a global spiritual awakening. The question that now hangs heavy in the air is, what does this portend? Are we on the cusp of a new era, a time of fulfillment of ancient prophecies? The Bible, a book revered by billions, speaks of signs and wonders preceding the second coming. Could this be that cataclysmic moment? The very fabric of reality seems to be unraveling. The lines between the natural and supernatural have blurred, inviting us to question our most fundamental assumptions about existence. As the world watches with a mixture of fascination and trepidation, Jerusalem stands at the crossroads of history. This city, which has witnessed
You
empires
dissed me a
rise and
little on
fall,
the show, but I
now
will
finds
make my
itself
mark
at
in the
the
playoffs
epicenter of a
American
cosmic
football.
event that will shape the destiny of humanity. For the inhabitants of Jerusalem, the experience has been both terrifying and exhilarating. To stand in the presence of the divine is to confront the ultimate questions of life, death, and the nature of reality. Their faith has been tested, their beliefs challenged, and their lives irrevocably altered. As news of the event spreads, people from all corners of the globe are drawn to this holy city, seeking answers, solace, or simply a glimpse of the miraculous. The road ahead is fraught with uncertainty. What began as a singular event has ignited a global conflagration of spiritual inquiry. As we delve deeper into the mysteries surrounding this visitation, we must approach it with both humility and intellectual rigor. This is not a time for hasty judgments or dogmatic assertions. Rather, it is an opportunity for profound reflection and spiritual growth. The event that unfolded on the hallowed ground of Jerusalem was nothing short of extraordinary. Against the backdrop of a city imbued with millennia of biblical significance, a vision of unparalleled splendor materialized. The central figure, unmistakably resembling Jesus, stood resplendent, accompanied by a celestial entourage of radiant angels. Their ethereal forms, bathed in a divine luminescence and adorned with wings that seemed to catch the sun's rays, created a scene of otherworldly beauty. It was as if a portal to the heavens had opened, offering a breathtaking glimpse into the realm beyond. Overwhelmed by a profound sense of awe and wonder, witnesses to this celestial spectacle were visibly moved. Tears of joy mingled with silent prayers as the magnitude of what they beheld sunk in. News of the event spread with astonishing rapidity, igniting a fervor of curiosity and anticipation. The Mount of Olives, transformed into a pilgrimage site, swelled with expectant crowds eager to bear witness to the miraculous phenomenon. Social media platforms became a digital canvas for shared experiences and photographic evidence. While some images captured the essence of the event with remarkable clarity, others, blurred by the excitement of the moment, nonetheless conveyed the intensity of the experience. These visual records serve to amplify the event's credibility, drawing in an ever-widening circle of believers. The implications of this extraordinary occurrence reverberated far beyond the physical realm. Biblical prophecies of celestial signs heralding the second coming were invoked, sparking fervent debate and contemplation. Was this a portent of apocalyptic events or a harbinger of a new era? As the world grappled with uncertainty and division, the divine manifestation in Jerusalem offered a stark reminder of transcendent power and divine intervention in human affairs. This was not an isolated incident. Similar celestial events had been reported in the region in 2016 and 2023. For many, the city had become a sacred observatory, a place where hope for a divine visitation endured. The event triggered a complex interplay of faith, skepticism, and scientific inquiry. Religious leaders grappled with its significance, while scientists sought rational explanations. Public opinion was divided, with some embracing the vision as irrefutable proof of divine intervention and others demanding concrete evidence. Theological discourse intensified as scholars and religious figures delved into the scriptural and doctrinal implications of the miracle. For millennia, the promise of Christ's return has been a beacon of hope for Christians worldwide. The Bible Bible paints a dramatic tableau of this event. Jesus descending from heaven, cloaked in glory and accompanied by a heavenly host. A recent occurrence in Jerusalem has ignited fervent speculation about the proximity of this anticipated return. The spectacle witnessed on the Mount of Olives bears striking resemblance to the biblical prophecies of the Second Coming. The Gospels describe a celestial display accompanying the Messiah's arrival, a sign of immense cosmic significance. This event, with its ethereal qualities, has been interpreted by many as a precursor to the ultimate fulfillment of these ancient prophecies. Central to the Christian belief in the Second Coming is the concept of divine justice and salvation. The presence of angelic beings in the Jerusalem vision aligns with biblical narratives of Christ's return as a moment of cosmic reckoning and redemption. As images and accounts of the event spread through digital and traditional media, I can make one call and use everything. A global conversation has ensued, igniting both faith and skepticism. Beyond the theological implications, the event has sparked a profound human response. It has rekindled hope in some, while stirring fear and uncertainty in others. It has become a catalyst for spiritual reflection, prompting individuals to examine their own beliefs and place in the grand scheme of existence. This event serves as a potent reminder of the enduring power of faith and the human capacity for wonder. As we delve deeper into the mysteries surrounding this extraordinary occurrence, we are invited to contemplate our role in the unfolding story of humanity and our connection to the divine. This is a moment of profound spiritual inquiry. It is an opportunity to explore the depths of our beliefs and to consider the possibility of something extraordinary beyond the realm of human comprehension. The sudden celestial appearance of Jesus Christ and a retinue of angels against the tumultuous backdrop of Jerusalem has sent ripples through the world. It is a paradox of epic proportions, a divine manifestation amidst human strife. To comprehend the full impact of this event, we must first examine the intricate tapestry of religious significance woven into the very fabric of Jerusalem. For Jews, Jerusalem stands as the eternal capital, a city sanctified by history and faith. The Western Wall, a remnant of the Second Temple, serves as a poignant symbol of hope and resilience. Control over the Temple Mount is a core issue in the Jewish identity, a matter of profound spiritual and political importance. Christians revere Jerusalem as the holy city where Jesus Christ lived, died, and rose again. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre, built on the site of his crucifixion and burial, is a pilgrimage site of immense spiritual significance. For billions of Christians worldwide, Jerusalem is a place of profound devotion and contemplation. Islam, too, holds Jerusalem in high esteem. The dome of the Raqqa and Al-Aqsa Mosque, situated on the Temple Mount, are central to Islamic faith. The night journey of the Prophet Muhammad, ascending to heaven from this sacred site, is a cornerstone of Islamic belief. This convergence of religious significance has made Jerusalem a crucible of faith, a place where the world's major monotheistic religions intersect. The appearance of Jesus and the angels within this charged atmosphere is nothing short of extraordinary. It is a celestial event that demands our deepest contemplation. For believers, this vision is more than a spectacle. It is a divine message delivered at a critical juncture in human history. The Bible prophesies signs and wonders preceding the second coming of Christ. Could this event be one of those foretold signs? As we delve deeper into the implications of this celestial visitation, we must consider how it aligns with biblical prophecy and how it might shape the course of human events. Reactions to the apparition were as diverse as humanity itself. While some embraced the vision as irrefutable proof of divine intervention, others demanded concrete evidence before suspending disbelief. Theologians and religious leaders delved into sacred texts, seeking answers to the profound questions raised by this miraculous occurrence. News of the event spread like wildfire, amplified by the power of social media. Vivid images and first-hand accounts flooded digital platforms, capturing the world's imagination. The spectacle of Jesus Christ and his angelic entourage, rendered in stunning detail, became icons of both faith and fascination. For centuries, this holy land has been a crucible of conflict, with Jews, Christians, and Muslims vying for control of its sacred sites. Each faith has its own profound narrative tied to Jerusalem, a narrative that has often been accompanied by bloodshed and strife. The underlying tensions in Jerusalem have cast a long shadow over the region and the world. The Holy City, a place of immense spiritual significance, has been a battleground for centuries. Historical, archaeological, and theological disputes continue to simmer beneath the surface, making it a complex and volatile region. Against this backdrop, the appearance of Jesus Christ and his angels is a stark reminder of the transcendent power of the divine. It is a call to unity, peace, and spiritual reflection. As we grapple with the implications of this extraordinary event, we are invited to look beyond our differences and seek common ground. Jerusalem, a city steeped in antiquity, stands as a pivotal figure in the grand tapestry of human history. Yet paradoxically, its past remains shrouded in mystery. While other biblical sites boast abundant archaeological treasures, Jerusalem's relics are surprisingly scarce. This dearth of physical evidence, coupled with often inaccurate historical accounts, has ignited a tempest of controversy surrounding the city's true heritage. For centuries, a sinister pattern has emerged: the deliberate concealment and destruction of Israel's historical roots in Jerusalem. Sacred texts echo this malevolent intent, suggesting a cosmic struggle to obscure God's intervention in human affairs. Satan, the adversary, is alleged to be the architect of this historical erasure, a relentless pursuit to obliterate Israel's identity. Recent events underscore this disturbing trend, with Palestinians targeting ancient sections of Jerusalem, particularly the vicinity of the Temple Mount. These actions, aimed at effacing the imprint of the Israelites, have been met with disconcerting apathy from the international community. The gravity of this situation prompted a bold response. A few years ago, U.S. Congressman Eric Cantor and his colleagues introduced the Temple Mount Preservation Act. This legislative initiative sought to halt financial aid to the Palestinian Authority, accusing them of orchestrating a devastating campaign against the Temple Mount's priceless artifacts. Cantor unveiled compelling photographic evidence documenting the extent of this cultural vandalism, revealing antiquities dating back to the era of the First Temple. This cultural annihilation was branded as an unprecedented assault on religious heritage. The evidence, Cantor asserted, unequivocally demonstrated a calculated attempt to sever the Judeo-Christian connection to the sacred site. These actions, a microcosm of a broader cosmic conflict, challenge the very foundation of faith. The Bible mandates the preservation and reverence of holy places, a principle blatantly violated by these destructive forces. Yet the forces of darkness cannot permanently eclipse the light of truth. Scripture promises divine protection for God's people and his sacred sanctuaries, assuring ultimate justice. Jerusalem, more than just a historical landmark, is a living testament to God's presence. Defending its heritage is a battle for truth, a fight to safeguard faith for generations to come. Jerusalem's layered history, like its geography, is complex. Each stratum unearthed unveils a chapter in the biblical story, a piece of the spiritual puzzle that shapes the identities of billions. This city, where heaven and earth converge, where biblical narratives unfold, and where God's promises find expression, holds an unparalleled significance in human history and faith. Defending Jerusalem's heritage is a battle for truth, faith, and the preservation of collective memory. As you embark on this exploration, prepare to unravel the city's mysteries, to comprehend its historical and spiritual depths, and to deepen your understanding of its enduring significance. This journey may redefine your worldview and strengthen your belief in God's divine plan. Its layered past, buried beneath centuries of occupation and reconstruction, presents a formidable challenge to archaeologists. The physical constraints imposed by the city's dense urban fabric, coupled with the delicate nature of its religious and cultural sensitivities, have hindered comprehensive exploration. The overlapping claims of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, have transformed Jerusalem into a sacred battleground. Each faith views the city through a lens shaped by millennia of tradition and belief. This religious pluralism, while enriching the city's spiritual tapestry, has also created a complex web of tensions and competing narratives. Archaeological findings, often interpreted through the prism of religious doctrine, have ignited passionate debates and fueled political divisions. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict has cast a long shadow over Jerusalem. The city has been a focal point of violence, displacement, and occupation. This ongoing struggle has not only inflicted physical damage, but has also eroded the city's cultural and historical fabric. Sacred sites, revered by millions, have become symbols of conflict, their spiritual significance overshadowed by political rhetoric. Despite these challenges, Jerusalem endures as a beacon of hope for people of faith. Its status as a holy city, shared by three major religions, underscores its unique position in the world. The biblical narrative, which weaves Jerusalem into the fabric of divine promise, continues to inspire and sustain believers. Yet the city's current reality, marked by division, conflict, and the erosion of its historical heritage, stands in stark contrast to this idealized vision. Reconciling the competing claims to Jerusalem is a daunting task. It demands a delicate balance between preserving the city's archaeological treasures and respecting the religious sensitivities of its diverse population. A comprehensive understanding of Jerusalem's past is essential for building a shared future, one that honors the city's rich heritage while fostering peace and coexistence. To achieve this ambitious goal, international cooperation, interfaith dialogue, and a commitment to preserving cultural heritage are indispensable. By working together, the world can help to unlock the secrets of Jerusalem's past, while safeguarding its future as a place of spiritual significance and human unity. As we embark on this exploration of Jerusalem, we must approach the city with humility, respect, and a deep appreciation for its complexities. By understanding the intricate interplay of history, religion, and politics, we can begin to unravel the mysteries that surround this extraordinary city. Ultimately, Jerusalem is more than just a geographical location. It is a symbol of hope, a testament to human resilience, and a reminder of our shared humanity. Genesis 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was barren with no form of life. It was under a roaring ocean covered with darkness, but the Spirit of God was moving over the water. God said, "I command light to shine." And light started shining. God looked at the light and saw that it was good. He separated light from darkness and named the light day and the darkness night. Evening came and then morning. That was the first day. God said, "I command the dome to separate the water above it from the water below it." And that's what happened. God made the dome and named it sky. Evening came and then morning. That was the second day. God said, "I command the water under the sky to come together in one place, so there will be dry ground." And that's what happened. God named the dry ground land, and he named the water ocean. God looked at what he had done and saw that it was good. God said, "I command the earth to produce all kinds of plants, including fruit trees and grain." And that's what happened. The earth produced all kinds of vegetation. God looked at what he had done, and it was good. Evening came, and then morning. That was the third day. God said,
I command lights to appear in the sky and to separate day from night, and to show the time for seasons, special days, and years. I command them to shine on the earth.
And that's what happened. God made two powerful lights, the brighter one to rule the day and the other to rule the night. He also made the stars. Then God put these lights in the sky to shine on the earth, to rule day and night, and to separate light from darkness. God looked at what he had done, and it was good. Evening came, and then morning. That was the fourth day. God said,
I command the ocean to be full of living creatures, and I command birds to fly above the earth.
So God made the giant sea monsters and all the living creatures that swim in the ocean. He also made every kind of bird. God looked at what he had done, and it was good. Then he gave the living creatures his blessing. He told the ocean creatures to live everywhere in the ocean, and the birds to live everywhere on earth. Evening came, and then morning. That was the fifth day. God said,
I command the earth to give life to all kinds of tame animals, wild animals, and reptiles.
and that's what happened. God made every one of them. Then he looked at what he had done, and it was good. God said,
Now we will make humans, and they will be like us. We will let them rule the fish, the birds, and all other living creatures.
So God created humans to be like himself. He made men and women. God gave them his blessing and said,
Have a lot of children, fill the earth with people, and bring it under your control. Rule over the fish in the ocean, the birds in the sky, and every animal on the earth. I have provided all kinds of fruit and grain for you to eat, and I have given the green plants as food for everything else that breathes. These will be food for animals, both wild and tame, and for birds.
God looked at what he had done. All of it was very good. Evening came, and then morning. That was the sixth day. Genesis 2. So the heavens and the earth and everything else were created. By the seventh day, God had finished his work, and so he rested. God blessed the seventh day and made it special, because on that day he rested from his work. That's how God created the heavens and the earth. When the Lord God made the heavens and the earth, no grass or plants were growing anywhere. God had not yet sent any rain, and there was no one to work the land. But streams came up from the ground and watered the earth. The Lord God took a handful of soil and made a man. God breathed life into the man, and the man started breathing. The Lord made a garden in a place called Eden, which was in the east, and he put the man there. The Lord God placed all kinds of beautiful trees and fruit trees in the garden. Two other trees were in the middle of the garden. One of the trees gave life. The other gave the power to know the difference between right and wrong. From Eden, a river flowed out to water the garden. Then it divided into four rivers. The first one is the Pishon River that flows through the land of Havilah, where pure gold, rare perfumes, and precious stones are found. The second is the Gihon River that winds through Ethiopia. The Tigris River that flows east of Assyria is the third, and the fourth is the Euphrates River. The Lord God put the man in the Garden of Eden to take care of it and to look after it. But the Lord told him,
You may eat fruit from any tree in the garden, except the one that has the power to let you know the difference between right and wrong. If you eat any fruit from that tree, you will die before the day is over.
The Lord God said,
It isn't good for the man to live alone. I need to make a suitable partner for him.
So the Lord took some soil and made animals and birds. He brought them to the man to see what names he would give each of them. Then the man named the tame animals and the birds and the wild animals. That's how they got their names. None of these was the right kind of partner for the man. So the Lord God made him fall into a deep sleep, and he took out one of the man's ribs. Then, after closing the man's side, the Lord made a woman out of the rib. The Lord God brought her to the man, and the man exclaimed,
Here is someone like me.
She's part of my body, my own flesh and bones. She came from me, a man, so I will name her woman. That's why a man will leave his own father and mother. He marries a woman, and the two of them become like one person. Although the man and his wife were both naked, they were not ashamed. Genesis 3. The snake was sneakier than any of the other wild animals that the Lord God had made. One day, it came to the woman and asked,
Did God tell you not to eat fruit from any tree in the garden?
The woman answered,
God said we could eat fruit from any tree in the garden, except the one in the middle. He told us not to eat fruit from that tree or even to touch it. If we do, we will die.
No, you won't.
the snake replied.
God understands what will happen on the day you eat fruit from that tree. You will see what you have done, and you will know the difference between right and wrong, just as God does.
The woman stared at the fruit. It looked beautiful and tasty. She wanted the wisdom that it would give her, and she ate some of the fruit. Her husband was there with her, so she gave some to him, and he ate it too. Right away, they saw what they had done, and they realized they were naked. Then they sewed fig leaves together to make something to cover themselves. Late in the afternoon, a breeze began to blow, and the man and woman heard the Lord God walking in the garden. They were frightened and hid behind some trees. The Lord called out to the man and asked,
Where are you?
The man answered, I was naked, and when I heard you walking through the garden, I was frightened and hid.
How did you know you were naked?
God asked.
Did you eat any fruit from that tree in the middle of the garden?
It was the woman you put here with me, the man said. She gave me some of the fruit and I ate it. The Lord God then asked the woman,
What have you done?
The snake tricked me,
she answered.
and I ate some of that fruit.
So the Lord God said to the snake,
Because of what you have done, you will be the only animal to suffer this curse. For as long as you live, you will crawl on your stomach and eat dirt. You and this woman will hate each other. Your descendants and hers will always be enemies. One of hers will strike you on the head, and you will strike him on the heel.
Then the Lord said to the woman,
You will suffer terribly when you give birth, but you will still desire your husband, and he will rule over you.
The Lord said to the man,
You listened to your wife and ate fruit from that tree. And so the ground will be under a curse because of what you did. As long as you live, you will have to struggle to grow enough food. Your food will be plants, but the ground will produce thorns and thistles. You will have to sweat to earn a living. You were made out of soil, and you will once again turn into soil.
The man Adam named his wife Eve because she would become the mother of all who live. Then the Lord God made clothes out of animal skins for the man and his wife. The Lord said,
These people now know the difference between right and wrong, just as we do. But they must not be allowed to eat fruit from the tree that lets them live forever.
So the Lord God sent them out of the Garden of Eden, where they would have to work the ground from which the man had been made. Then God put winged creatures at the entrance to the garden and a flaming, flashing sword to guard the way to the life-giving tree. Genesis 4. Adam and Eve had a son. Then Eve said,
I'll name him Cain, because I got him with the help of the Lord.
Later she had another son and named him Abel. Abel became a sheep farmer, but Cain farmed the land. One day, Cain gave part of his harvest to the Lord, and Abel also gave an offering to the Lord. He killed the firstborn lamb from one of his sheep and gave the Lord the best parts of it. The Lord was pleased with Abel and his offering, but not with Cain and his offering. This made Cain so angry that he could not hide his feelings. The Lord said to Cain,
What's wrong with you? Why Why do you have such an angry look on your face? If you had done the right thing, you would be smiling. But you did the wrong thing, and now sin is waiting to attack you like a lion. Sin wants to destroy you, but don't let it.
Cain said to his brother Abel, "Let's go for a walk." And when they were out in a field, Cain killed him. Afterwards, the Lord asked Cain,
"Where is Abel?"
"How should I know?" he answered. "Am I supposed to look after my brother?" Then the Lord said,
"Why have you done this terrible thing? You killed your own brother, and his blood flowed onto the ground. Now his blood is calling out for me to punish you, and so I'll put you under a curse. Because you killed Abel and made his blood run out on the ground, you will never be able to farm the land again. You try to farm the land, it won't produce anything for you. From now on, you'll be without a home, and you'll spend the rest of your life wandering from place to place."
"This punishment is too hard," Cain said. "You're making me leave my home and live far from you. I will have to wander about without a home, and just anyone could kill me."
"No,"
the Lord answered.
"Anyone who kills you will be punished 7 times worse than I am punishing you."
So the Lord put a mark on Cain to warn everyone not to kill him. But Cain had to go far from the Lord and live in the land of wandering, which is east of Eden. Later, Cain and his wife had a son named Enoch. At the time, Cain was building a town, and so he named it Enoch after his son. Then Enoch had a son named Irad, who had a son named Mehujael, who had a son named Methushael, who had a son named Lamech. Lamech married Ada, then Zillah. Lamech and Ada had 2 sons, Jabal and Jubal. Their son Jabal was the first to live in tents and raise sheep and goats. Jubal was the first to play harps and flutes. Lamech and Zillah had a son named Tubal-Cain, who made tools out of bronze and iron. They also had a daughter whose name was Naamah. One day, Lamech said to his 2 wives, "A young man wounded me, and I killed him. Anyone who tries to get even with me will be punished 10 times more than anyone who tries to get even with Cain." Adam and his wife had another son. They named him Seth because they said,
God has given us a son to take the place of Abel, who was killed by his brother Cain.
Later, Seth had a son and named him Enosh. About this time, people started worshiping the Lord. Genesis 5. God created men and women to be like himself. He gave them his blessing and called them human beings. This is a list of the descendants of Adam, the first man. When Adam was 130, he had a son who was just like him, and he named him Seth. Adam had more children and died at the age of 930. When Seth was 105, he had a son named Enosh. Seth had more children and died at the age of 912. When Enosh was 90, he had a son named Kenan. Enosh had more children and died at the age of 905. When Kenan was 70, he had a son named Mahalalel. Kenan had more children and died at the age of 910. When Mahalalel was 65, he had a son named Jared. Mahalalel had more children and died at the age of 895. When Jared was 162, he had a son named Enoch. Jared had more children and died at the age of 962. When Enoch was 65, he had a son named Methuselah, and during the next 300 years he had more children. Enoch truly loved God, and God took him away at the age of 365. When Methuselah was 187, he had a son named Lamech. Methuselah had more children, and died at the age of 969. When Lamech was 182, he had a son. Lamech said,
"I'll name him Noah, because he will give us comfort as we struggle hard to make a living on this land that the Lord has put under a curse."
Lamech had more children and died at the age of 777. After Noah was 500
500 years old, he had 3 sons and named them Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Genesis 6. More and more people were born until finally they spread all over the earth. Some of their daughters were so beautiful that supernatural beings came down and married the ones they wanted. Then the Lord said,
I won't let my life-giving breath remain in anyone forever. No one will live for more than 120 years.
The children of the supernatural beings who had married these women became famous heroes and warriors. They were called Nephilim and lived on the earth at that time and even later. The Lord saw how bad the people on earth were and that everything they thought and planned was evil. He was very sorry that he had made them, and he said,
I'll destroy every living creature on earth. I'll wipe out people, animals, birds, and reptiles. I'm sorry I ever made them.
But the Lord was pleased with Noah, and this is the story about him. Noah was the only person who lived right and obeyed God. He had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. God knew that everyone was terribly cruel and violent, so he told Noah,
Cruelty and violence have spread everywhere. Now I'm going to destroy the whole earth and all its people. Get some good lumber and build a boat. Put rooms in it and cover it with tar inside and out. Make it 450 feet long, 75 feet high, and 45 feet wide. Build a roof on the boat and leave a space of about 18 inches between the roof and the sides. Make the boat 3 stories high and put a door on one side. I'm going to send a flood that will destroy everything that breathes. Nothing will be left alive. But I solemnly promise that you, your wife, your sons, and your daughters-in-law will be kept safe in the boat. Bring into the boat with you a male and a female of every kind of animal and bird, as well as a male and a female of every reptile. I don't want them to be destroyed. Store up enough food both for yourself and for them.
Noah did everything the Lord told him to do. Genesis 7. The Lord told Noah,
Take your whole family with you into the boat, because you are the only one on this earth who pleases me. Take 7 pairs of every kind of animal that can be used for sacrifice, and 1 pair of all others. Also, take 7 pairs of every kind of bird with you. Do this so there will always be animals and birds on the earth. 7 days from now I will send rain that will last for 40 days and nights, and I will destroy all other living creatures I have made.
Noah was 600 years old when he went into the boat to escape the flood, and he did everything the Lord had told him to do. His wife, his sons, and his daughters-in-law all went inside with him. He obeyed God and took a male and a female of each kind of animal and bird into the boat with him. 7 days later, a flood began to cover the earth. Noah was 600 years old when the water under the earth started gushing out everywhere. The sky opened like windows and rain poured down for 40 days and nights. All this began on the 17th day of the 2nd month of the year. On that day, Noah and his wife went into the boat with their 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and their wives. They took along every kind of animal, tame and wild, including the birds. Noah took a male and a female of every living creature with him, just as God had told him to do. And when they were all in the boat, God closed the door. For 40 days, the rain poured down without stopping, and the water became deeper and deeper until the boat started floating high above the ground. Finally, the mighty flood was so deep that even the highest mountain peaks were almost 25 feet below the surface of the water. Not a bird, animal, reptile, or human was left alive anywhere on earth. The Lord destroyed everything that breathed. Nothing was left alive except Noah and the others in the boat. 150 days later, the water started going down. Genesis 8. God did not forget about Noah and the animals with him in the boat. So God made a wind blow, and the water started going down. God stopped up the places where the water had been gushing out from under the earth. He also closed up the sky, and the rain stopped. For 150 days, the water slowly went down. Then, on the 17th day of the 7th month of the year, the boat came to rest somewhere in the Ararat Mountains. The water kept going down, and the mountaintops could be seen on the first day of the 10th month. 40 days later, Noah opened a window to send out a raven, but it kept flying around until the water had dried up. Noah wanted to find out if the water had gone down, and he sent out a dove. Deep water was still everywhere, and the dove could not find a place to land, so it flew back to the boat. Noah held out his hand and helped it back in. 7 days later, Noah sent the dove out again. It returned in the evening, holding in its beak a green leaf from an olive tree. Noah knew that the water was finally going down. He waited 7 more days before sending the dove out again, and this time it did not return. Noah was now 601 years old, and by the first day of that year, almost all the water had gone away. Noah made an opening in the roof of the boat and saw that the ground was getting dry. By the 27th day of the 2nd month, the earth was completely dry. God said to Noah,
You, your wife, your sons, and your daughters-in-law may now leave the boat. Let out the birds, animals, and reptiles, so they can mate and live all over the earth.
After Noah and his family had gone out of the boat, the living creatures left in groups of their own kind. Noah built an altar where he could offer sacrifices to the Lord. Then he offered on the altar one of each kind of animal and bird that could be used for a sacrifice. The smell of the burning offering pleased God, and he said,
Never again will I punish the earth for the sinful things its people do. All of them have evil thoughts from the time they are young, but I will never destroy everything that breathes, as I did this time. As long as the earth remains, there will be planting and harvest, cold and heat, winter and summer, day and night.
Genesis 9. God said to Noah and his sons,
I am giving you my blessing. Have a lot of children and grandchildren, so people will live everywhere on this earth. All animals, birds, reptiles, and fish